And God on this earth, in and outside of the church, the Father is first. I don't have a physical Bible, but baby, my Bible that broke. I know God is the one that supplies me with all that I need. That is through Jesus Christ, and I'm certain that all things are possible if you believe. So keep on speaking life. I know from the love of God that nothing can separate me. Not even death, he's alive. I know poverty catches up with too much slumber or sleep. So I'm into sleep at night, and the Lord is my strength. Ooh, should I be afraid? I fall on my knees and repent. It's better than what I done gave her. If I'm the one being sin, Satan gon' see what I'm made of. Man, if you had any sins, I'm telling you now, it's a changer. It's a delicate thing.
What is up, Buffalo fanatics? Z-Bot, RICO. It's RICO in Bot on the divisional round post-game show. The Buffalo Bills are going to the AFC Championship. RICO, talk to me, baby. Let's go.
I am effing pumped. I can't tell you how great it feels to know that we got past the divisional round and we're going back to the AFC Championship game. Bills Mafia, one more game. One more game. So pumped. So pumped. I'm sweating right now, boy. I'm sweating. That's how I feel great. I feel great. Listen, if you guys are tuning in right now for the first time, do me a favor. Smash that like. Smash that like right now. Let's get this thing to 2,000 likes. I don't care what y'all doing. 2,000 likes. Let's go. Z-Bot, tell me how you're feeling the minute you saw we deferred. I was curious to see how you thought. You're like, what?
I told my dad, I said, we will know if it was the right choice at halftime. And it wound up being the right choice. RICO, I just am so excited that that football game is over. The heart attack Buffalo Bills strike again. It's never easy. You felt like you saw this movie before, but this time it had a different ending. This time the ending went in the favor of the Buffalo Bills. Usually in those games, everything that can go wrong tends to go wrong for Buffalo. This time around, the things that could go wrong seem to go wrong for Baltimore. And the Bills get out alive. An incredible first half. So much to talk about. I can't even believe we got out of there alive. I'm still just through the moon right now. What an incredible game, an incredible victory. They doubted 17. They doubted these Buffalo Bills. Underdogs at home. They get it done. 10-0 on the season at home, putting on a show for this crowd. These Buffalo Bills found a way. So much to talk about, from 17 to Joe Brady to what I thought to be maybe Sean McDermott's magnum opus tonight. An unbelievable performance. This defense, everyone doubted him. We doubted him at times. The chat doubted him at times. People doubted this defense. They felt that the Achilles heel for these Buffalo Bills was going to be the defense. And it felt like the defense was the element of the football team that carried them this evening to an AFC Championship. The Bills got it done when nobody thought they could. One more, like you said, RICO, separates these Bills from getting where I've been waiting for them to get my entire life.
I can't wait. In the chat, are my Ravens fans in the chat? Where y'all at? I'm trying to look for y'all. Y'all there? Yo, super chat if you're there. I'm on my Petty Murphy stuff right now. Where you at, Ravens fans? Y'all be chirping us all week long. Talk about how we gonna handle y'all no problem. Josh ain't that dude. Rah, rah, rah. Whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop, whoop-de-whoop. Look at us now. Secondly, I want to see all the analysts that were talking about all the Ravens. How are the Bills, and I said it this week, and I've been saying it. Why are we talking about what the Bills need to do to stop the Ravens? Man, bump that. You guys have to stop us. You're coming to our home. You got to figure out how you're gonna stop Josh Allen. That's what it comes down to. He may not have had 300 yards passing, but he puts the ball where it needs to go. Oh, and he doesn't turn the ball over. That's the beautiful thing about this. But it's not about Josh Allen today, surprisingly, folks.
No.
It's not about Josh Allen. It's about the defense. The defense woke up. The defense answered the bell. And I'll tell you something, man. That chip on the shoulder I've been talking about all week, you saw it. They did not want to go home. They did not want to go home. Shout out to my guy, Andrew Lipson, in the building. What up, Andrew? He was watching the game with me tonight. They did not want to go home. That defense came through. 3 turnovers. 3 forced turnovers. You got to love it. But what are they going to do? Just because Matt Milano's back and Terrence Johnson's back and Bernard's back, what does that mean? Your offense still needs to score. Bro, what does that mean? Hey, Terrell Bernard forced fumble. How about that? That's what that means. Oh, by the way, that 2-point conversion you guys tried the first time, guess who tipped the ball? Matt Milano. Thank you. Matt Milano was spying on my man Lamar Jackson all night long. Kept him down to 39 yards. You don't think Lamar wanted to take off? Heck no. When you got 58 on your ass, it ain't happening. The defense carried the offense today. But talk about it. What say you on what you saw from the defensive side of the ball? Were you proud of this defense?
We always preface before saying that when you're missing guys, it's not an excuse. It's a reality.
Boom.
And the last time these Buffalo Bills played the Baltimore Ravens, they were without Teron Johnson. They were without Terrell Bernard. They were without Matt Milano. And they lost Taylor Rapp in that game. They also were without Khalil Shakir for a portion of that game. Look what ended up being the difference. Khalil Shakir, leading receiver. Matt Milano, all over the field tonight, playing like a man possessed. Matt Milano, playing football again like an all-pro that we've come to know and love. Terrell Bernard, maybe the play of the decade for the Buffalo Bills. If they don't force that fumble on that play, it felt the momentum was all on the Baltimore Ravens side. A wide-open Mark Andrews. They were getting points on that drive. Terrell Bernard makes the play. Taylor Rapp intercepts Lamar Jackson. The guy had one of the best interception to touchdown ratios in the history of the league. They pick him off. The guy had what? 3 interceptions in his last 13 games. Rapp picks him off. And Teron Johnson was all over the field tonight, throwing his body on the line for these Buffalo Bills. It was never an excuse. It was a fact. And we felt that these Buffalo Bills defensively were going to be different in this game because of those guys' presence, and they absolutely were. The Bills do not win that game tonight without Terrell Bernard, without Matt Milano, and without the plays made by Teron Johnson and by the plays made by Taylor Rapp before they got injured. This defense, we knew that the Bills were going to be able to put up 27-plus points. They've pretty much done it in every game this year. Was the Bills' defense going to be able to make a difference? Were they going to be able to give the Bills' offense the opportunity to dictate the game? They did. 21-10 at half, and that's because this defense went out there and arguably put on display the best performance that they've had in a big game under Sean McDermott, if not one of them at the very least. And when you factor in the capabilities that we thought that this Bills defense had going into it, that's what makes it feel like it was one of the best. The ability for Sean McDermott to go away from what he's comfortable with, bail out of that zone a little bit, send the pressure when they haven't been doing that all year, when they were able to force turnovers, get after Lamar Jackson. They allowed the Buffalo Bills offensively to strike early and get the lead at half. If they did not do what they did in the first half, if they did not do what they did in the second half in terms of forcing that fumble on Mark Andrews, the Buffalo Bills lose this game 99 out of 100 times. But tonight, they did just enough. And we talked about it before the game, Rico. The beauty of the NFL, it's 60 minutes of football. You got to get it done on one night. You're not playing a 7-game series like you are in the NBA, the MLB, and the NHL. Can you make a difference in one game? These Buffalo Bills couldn't do it in week 4. They did it when it mattered most. And unarguably, the difference in the ball game was not 17, was not James Cook, was not Joe Brady, was not an offense that was putting up historic numbers. It was a Bills defense that everybody this year doubted and thought would get ran out of their own building tonight. Sean McDermott, take a bow. Take a bow. We had said going into the game that this game for Sean McDermott was just as big as it was for Josh Allen. Sean McDermott answered the call. Even if they would have lost that game, Rico, you would never have caught me on here putting it on the blame of Sean McDermott and that defense. They did what they had to do. They had one of the best offenses we've seen in a while, held to 19 points going into the fourth quarter, 10 at half. They stepped up, balled out. The Bills did just enough offensively to take advantage of it. They got it done. Sean McDermott, that was your masterpiece tonight. Can you create a second one next week and propel these boys to New Orleans?
I absolutely love that you gave Sean McDermott the credit, because I'll tell you right now, Sean McDermott, when you saw him march up, when it's 3rd and short, and the Bills didn't get it. I didn't like how they went out of shotgun. I'm not a fan of that. We could talk about that in just a little bit. But Sean McDermott walked up to that line. He had to make a crucial decision. This is it. Either I'm going for it and I'm being aggressive, but if we don't get it, it's a one-score game. Let's go. Sean McDermott surveyed it, looked at it. Now in his head, he's probably thinking, if I take the points, they're probably going to think I'm being conservative, but I'm actually being smart because we're up 8. I'm going to trust this defense that's held, like you said, that held this team to 10 points in the first half. Why not make this defense make a play? They've got 3 turnovers already. Let's roll. And that's exactly what they did to get that stop. At least if you want to look at it, that stop, that Mark Andrews, poor throw from Lamar Jackson, poor anticipation to catch the football altogether, making that a great decision to go up 8, because now you put the pressure, the stress on the offense to try to make and choose your best play, and it just didn't fall through. So in all of that, I'm reading some of the stuff on Twitter. I'm reading some of the stuff, and it's not congratulations, Josh Allen and the Bills. You guys did this, XYZ, that. It's this ain't on Lamar Jackson. You did your job, Lamar. You did. I'm sorry. Lamar did enough to try to get back into the graces.
Correct.
But you threw a pick and you fumbled the football. If it were Josh Allen, this is what Josh Allen does. He does this, he does that. And it's not about this. This is about understanding that 2 giants are playing one another. One can only move on. And the one that moved on is the one that did not turn the ball over. And that's our guy, Josh Allen. And that's who should be getting the praise right now and saying, you know what? A great defense that's been number 1 here and number 1 there. And they played such good football since Josh Allen was unfazed. I did what I need to do. I didn't force the football, and I didn't give a football up. And you gotta love this mature Josh Allen that we are seeing right before our eyes as we head into the game against the Kansas City Chiefs. You'll love to see it, but I love that you gave our guy, Sean McDermott, the love that he deserves, because that was crucial. That game plan for these boys was crucial. And this brings me to the game plan. Stopping Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry has been a menace these last several games. He's been rushing for over 130 yards. He's hot. He's been the hot hand for these Ravens. And we talked about it this week. Multiple passes are going to have to come from Lamar Jackson. We can't let Derrick Henry take over and make this the Derrick Henry game. And the Bills defense, especially the front 7, answered the bell. They answered the bell by keeping Derrick Henry to under 90 yards rushing. He had that one crucial play that could have busted up for a long play, but we stopped him. But other than that, ineffective play come from Derrick Henry, and you love to see it. Now, take that defensive momentum and bring it over against the Chiefs. One more game so we can go to the dance. You love to see what these guys have been able to do, and I'm confident. My confidence level, I don't know about you, but my confidence level is still just as high. Ready to go on to the Chiefs. How did you look at this game going into this 3rd quarter? Because the 3rd quarter wasn't our best. Was there a bit of worry going on, especially getting the football back after half?
Well, for starters, we got 3,000 of you in the building right now. 3,000 and growing. Lock in. We're only 13 minutes into the program. Strap in. We're going to have a lot to say tonight. We got a ton to talk about. And it's not all positive. But that is the positive element of this game, Rico.
Yes.
The Bills proved to you tonight that when things aren't going their way, when things aren't clicking entirely for Josh Allen, when Josh Allen doesn't have the cape on, when Joe Brady isn't at his best, they can win in a multitude of different ways. That's why this win is so impressive. Because Tyler Bass, we doubted him all year, nails a 50-plus yarder in the elements, nails the kick. I know it was a chip shot. We've seen crazier things. We saw the Chiefs block a kick from the Denver Broncos. That was a chip shot earlier in the year. He hit on his moments. Tyler Bass cashes in. We saw missed extra points earlier from the Philadelphia Eagles in that game. None of that. They cashed in. Tyler Bass stepped up. This defense stepped up. Sean McDermott stepped up. Didn't crumble under the pressure. But you get to that 3rd quarter, Rico, and it was abysmal. And the Bills felt like they were going to Bills it up. The Bills felt like they were going to Bills it up once again. Me and my dad said, we've seen this movie before. 21-10 lead, and all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, the comfortability that you have earned in the first half is completely out the window. We'll talk about it throughout the show here. I don't want to get too negative too early, but I thought Joe Brady, I thought he coached scared in that third quarter in that second half. I hated the play calling in the second half offensively. Far too conservative. It felt like they were coaching that game to not lose as opposed to winning. But in the third quarter, right, you allow the Ravens to start running the football. That's where I got nervous. The Ravens were not able to run the football in the first half. The third quarter, they were winning at the line of scrimmage, and they were getting chunk plays one after another. That drive where they went down and scored with Derrick Henry, they threw the ball one time, Rico. They went all the way down the field rushing the football. And it felt, this was the beauty of it, it felt like the Bills' defense was going to have to make another play. And at that point, how much more could you have asked from them? They forced 2 turnovers in the first half on a team that does not turn the ball over. They held them to 10 points at halftime. And you had just felt like, how much more could you ask from this defense? But now that they're starting to get run on, it felt like they were going to have to make another game-altering play in order for the Bills to get out of there alive. And that is where Terrell Bernard, in my opinion, made one of the more iconic plays in franchise history in my lifetime. We often go back to the Teron Johnson pick 6 against these Ravens the last time we faced him in the divisional. This Terrell Bernard forced fumble, in my opinion, is going to be up there with that. The Bills do not win this game if they do not force that fumble. So in the third quarter, Rico, I can't lie to you, I was sick to my stomach. Everything that they had built up in the first half felt like it was just evaporating in front of our eyes. If it weren't for that play, I don't think this game goes the way that it does. And that is the beauty of this victory. Even when things started to get difficult, they did just enough to be able to get out of there alive. And in the playoffs, that's what matters all week long. I had said that this game was going to be so razor thin that it was going to come down to the team that made one additional play. And it was also going to come down to the team that did not make a mistake. The Ravens made the mistake tonight. You mentioned something that I thought stood out. You had mentioned that Lamar was kind of getting a pass online here. If Josh Allen had the performance that Lamar Jackson had in the first half with an interception that was nowhere close to a receiver and a fumble that wasn't even forced, he just flat out dropped it, Josh Allen would be getting cooked over an open fire online right now, okay? Josh Allen didn't play a great football game. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think Joe Brady put him in a terrific spot today to play a terrific football game.
Agreed.
Josh Allen just went 16-22, Rico, in a divisional round playoff game against one of the top dogs in this league, and they won the football game. Why? Because he didn't make a mistake. He didn't put the cape on tonight. He didn't have an unreal performance, but not every game is going to be won by Josh Allen looking like the greatest damn athlete you've ever seen play a football game. That's why this win is impressive. They were able to win a divisional round football game with 27 points on the board against the MVP and 6 All-Pros, where Josh Allen has 127 yards. Yes, I thought Lamar Jackson stepped up in the second half. He should have had that game tied. Mark Andrews, I don't know how the guy sleeps for the next 2 months. I really don't. And that's going to be the play that Baltimore Ravens fans are going to remember forever. Us Bills fans remember 13 seconds now. We'll remember it on our deathbeds. That's going to be the play right there that Ravens fans are going to remember. Lamar Jackson stepped up in the second half. But ultimately, Rico, what was the difference in the game? It was the mistakes that it felt like Lamar Jackson made in the first half and the Ravens in totality. It wasn't just Lamar Jackson's fault in the first half. However, we know how these narratives get created. It all comes down to the quarterback. No one cares about anything else. So I understand Lamar had a great second half, but you said it. It was in a comeback effort. And the reason it was in a comeback effort is because if he does not fumble that football, and Von Miller returns it the way he does, and they get points off of it, this game does not go the way that it does. And I know for a fact that if Josh Allen did those same exact things, he would be getting slow roasted over it. So I give credit to Lamar for stepping up in the second half. I felt like he did enough for them to go and take that game to overtime. But the difference in this ball game, Rico, the Bills didn't really make many mistakes. The Ravens made plenty. And in a game that's going to finish by 2 points, that was the ultimate difference.
That was the ultimate difference. And I love how you just opened it all up, and you'll love it. Take a breather. Take a sip, relax. You're fired up, and I love it. Now, let me keep you fired up because a lot of the year, a lot this year, we've been talking about, and I don't want to go on the negative because this negative that I'm going to go into is going to be the positive. We've been talking about special teams and special teams this, special teams that, and will Tyler Bass help us out? Will Tyler Bass step up? Give credit to Tyler Bass today. Tyler Bass made some crucial kicks that kept us in this. How big of it was it to see him crush that 51-yarder, then get us that lead that got us that 8-point lead? You gotta love what the special teams was able to do today, and you gotta give kudos to that. But I'm gonna go back to the defense because I gotta give credit to the defense, and I'm gonna stick to the defensive front.
Hold on, I got somebody who wants to say something to you. What do you want to say? What do you want to say to Rico right now? Rico,
my guy.
Man, what a game. What a game, man.
He's playing it so cool right now. We were this close to being in the emergency room 45 minutes ago. Now we're drinking.
How about
now the heart rate is low. You're ready to go. You're back at it.
It went our way. It all went our way. This guy, I brought him down a couple drinks because he just was
I'm hyperventilating, so I need more alcohol.
I told him, get a drink. You need a drink.
Cardiac event. Man. And it came out the right way. We got to do one more week. One more week.
One more week. One more. Papa bot in the building. Let's go.
Hit that bell for him real quick.
Papa bot. Now let me stick to the defense because a lot of this is gonna go by the wayside, and I don't think it should. I'm gonna tell you that defensive front today, more specifically, Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones, Greg Rousseau, Von Miller, AJ Epinesa, bro, they stepped up. They absolutely stepped up today. And I don't want to, we've been on their case, especially Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver, top 10 pick. Ed Oliver gets a contract extension. We needed to see more from Ed Oliver. Even Romo came in and was like, I've been watching Ed Oliver, and he's been a menace. He's been hard to get.
Let me ask you real quick, because you brought up Romo. How many times did you feel like he was going to jinx the Bills and give you a heart attack? It just felt like every chance he got, I'm like, dude, I love you, Romo, but shut up. He's like, oh, we had the 13 heart. Rico, we had the 13-second heartbreak, Jim. Now it comes down to an onside kick. And I'm like, just shut out for 5 seconds.
All the chances are 5%. But, Jim, you never know, Jim.
I looked at my mom and said, the fact that he said 5 seconds to me is killing me or 5% because, Rico, when do you ever say the percentages unless something the opposite is about to happen? Oh, my God. Oh.
Hey, listen, I love Romo, but at the same time, sometimes I'm like, yo, shut your ass up. I'm sick and tired of your stuff. But when I go back to the defense, listen, give a kudos and I give a shout out to Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones. Daquan Jones was absolutely pushing the pocket. These guys were supposed to push us around today. They were supposed to push us around and run for $1.99 again. That's exactly what Ravens fans were talking about. That's exactly what analysts were saying. The big boys are coming to town. Nah, Ed Oliver and Daquan Jones absolutely stepped up to the ballpark and they said, let me get a crack at the bat and let me show you what I got. Let me move to the outside. AJ Epinesa, disciplined football. They didn't over pursue. They stayed in their lanes. They got beat up for it, but they stayed in their lanes. They got in on it and allows the linebackers to play free. So please, big shout out to Ed Oliver. I'm going to call him Edward. Every time he plays well, Edward Oliver came through and played well, and he had that big inside move, cracked Justice Hill. Oh, it was so perfect, so lovely to see. So big shout out to that defensive front. You guys did it. You guys answered the bell. You kept Lamar in check. You made him have to use his arms. Guys, we haven't seen Lamar throw how many? I got to go back to Lamar's.
What did we say, Rico? What did we say? If Lamar throws it over 20 plus times, that means they're either playing from behind or we got them off their game. That's what happened.
Bingo. Lamar Jackson today, 18 for 25. The last few games, 14 for 19. 15 for 16, right? He doesn't have to throw the football because he's got that big juggernaut in the back. But we said, nah, son, we got that juggernaut for you. We're going to stop him, and you're going to have to use your arm against us.
And let me add something. I just want to say there was a Vegas line on Lamar's over-under pass attempts, just to let you know. It was at 18.5.
There you go.
That just lets you know right there.
There you go. So I don't want to hear it. And here's the crazy part, right? As I talk about this defense, I don't know if you heard if you caught this part. There was a part where after the first half, they come back from the first half. We don't do well. Romo says, this is where they got to start getting the ball to Derrick Henry to really open things up. You know who your MVP truly is when they say your name. Josh Allen's really going to have to get this thing going. They're not asking for Keon Coleman to step up. They're not asking for James Cook. It's Josh Allen over there. Derrick Henry's to step. This is not your MVP. The MVP is Josh Allen because that's who the team leans on. So the fact that the defensive front, I come back to the defensive front, was able to keep Derrick Henry to 16 carries, 84 yards is absolutely fantastic.
And Rico, 60 of them came in one quarter. I mean, they really took him out of the ball game for 45 minutes of a 60-minute football game.
Yeah. And they said, hey, Lamar, respectfully, you're going to have to beat you. You're going to have to beat us with your arm. You're going to have to beat us with your arm. And you know what? Your guys are going to have to step up for you. And some might want to say, it wasn't all on Lamar and this, that, and the third. Well, you know what? That first pick was on Lamar. So I don't want to hear nothing about that because that's what got us the second opportunity to put points on the board. So he's not off the I guess the chopping block, if you will. He's gonna get his, but at the end of the day, it's not about the Lamar Ravens and Mark Andrews. It's about Josh Allen, this defense, Coach McDermott, the guys that know what it takes to win. There are some guys that felt the heartbreak that are still on this team. How good was it to see Micah Hyde be on the sideline to say, you know what, we're going back to the dance, right? How good was it to see, right, Josh Allen be vindicated and say, you know what, we're going back to the AFC Championship. There's some guys on this squad that still remember that fateful day. Not Milano, right? These boys are there. So you love to see it. I'm excited for it. I can't wait for this next week, but let's sit in this. Let's bask in this win because it's a lovely one.
No, we are next week. I can't wait, but we are enjoying this one for 24 hours. No one had this team winning it. You just brought up a point that I want to piggyback on, and that was sort of the heartbreak, right? I'm seeing a lot of, well, if Mark Andrews didn't drop that ball, if Lamar didn't fumble it, but he did. He did drop it. He did fumble it. Here's a couple ifs for you. If the Bills didn't play prevent defense with 13 seconds left, they win that game. If the Bills were maybe healthy last year against the Chiefs, maybe they win that game. If the Bills played, if they didn't go out there and just completely mail in the game against the Bengals, maybe they win that game. If this, if that. The Bills have been the victim of an if forever. If Scott Norwood puts that kick 5 yards to the left, they're a Super Bowl champion. If there isn't a Music City Miracle, maybe they're a Super Bowl champion. If this and if that and if you and if me. Listen, there's ifs all over the board. Oftentimes the ifs go against these Buffalo Bills. If for a change, the if has to go in favor of Buffalo, well, I'll tell you what, it's a change of pace. I understand it is incredibly heartbreaking to lose with that many ifs. The Bills have been on the losing end of all of those ifs for as long as I've been alive. Here's the difference. In this game, outside of the Bills really not executing well offensively in the second half and getting run on in the third quarter, they didn't make any self-inflicted mistakes, and the Ravens did. This is how, not to compare the Bills to the Chiefs, because you can't compare anybody to the Chiefs, but the Chiefs always wait around for you to implode. The Ravens imploded tonight. There's no other way to look at it. We're talking right off of the bat, Rico. I go back to one of the first plays of the game.
Talk about it.
Derrick Henry dropped a wide open out route down the field. I'm not sure he doesn't score an 80-yard touchdown if he doesn't drop that. You had Mark Andrews early in the game drop a ball. You had Lamar Jackson mail one over the head of a guy. You never see that happen through the interception. You see Lamar Jackson fumble the ball without getting it punched out in the backfield. When do you see that happening? You see Mark Andrews drop that 2-point conversion. When do you see that happening? It is playoff football, and sometimes the lights get a little too bright. And those things happen. It's why the Chiefs have been so successful. It does not happen to Kansas City. It happens to everybody else. And that's why, as good of a football team as they are, combined with the other teams making the mistakes, they move on. The Bills did not have a masterclass offensively tonight. The Bills did not step up to the call in the third quarter defensively like they did in the first half, but they didn't make the self-inflicted mistakes that have cost them throughout their tenure of Josh Allen and Sean McDermott, Rico. Tonight, the Ravens did, and the Bills took advantage enough to win a game that was always predicted to be this close.
And making the game this close, and you touched on it earlier, but I feel like this individual deserves a lot more credit and love today, and that's Sean McDermott.
You ain't kidding.
Listen, we have been tough on Sean. I've been tough on Sean because I love Sean so much. I love this guy for this coaching staff, and I want him to be the coach for this team. But I also understand the history that comes with having him as a coach and where we've lost, and how do you go on with that? But how do you not love a guy like Sean that just loves his team and they play for him? That's the big thing for me. These boys play for Sean McDermott. No matter how you want to slice it, how you want to look at it, they play for him. And he put the team in the right positions today at the right times. The amount of times, there were times where we should have punted. And fam, he was like, nah, we're not punting. We're going for it. Get that for us, Josh. We went 1 for 1 on 4th down. And we could have had much better plays. Like, they took us out of contention. This, technically, if you look at it, there were some plays that the refs, and I'm not putting this on the refs, but that holding call, that bogus holding call on, I could not believe that took us out of contention. That took us out of everything because of that. That just set us behind. That had us in contention. We could have kept rolling. So, although the score being 27-25, that there were some moments that they took away from us that could have been great. But I want to go back to Sean McDermott, how great he's been, how solid he's been. And these guys, he's a great leader of men. And that's what you need on the squad. I know I've been tough on him because I want to win so bad. But golly, man, this dude has been doing what he's supposed to do for this team. And when push comes to shove, he's conservative, he's this, he's that. Bro, you can't call that man conservative anymore. You can't. This boy's been saying, yo, 4th and 3, go for that shit. 4th and 1, the only thing that you can knock my man for sometimes is there are some moments where he's really thinking about, should I not? And you're like, man, just trust 17. But I'm so glad in this moment, he was like, yo, we're going to take these points. And we're going to let this defense do what they do. And you love to see it because there are moments where you're like, why does he trust his defense so much? His defense hasn't been able to do anything. It's like he called everybody in the fucking locker room. I try not to cuss these days, but he called everybody in the locker room. He's like, defense meeting only. It's as if he had that. These boys played for Sean today. This wasn't about playing for Josh. This was about having pride. They had a sense of pride today, and I hope they take that pride into Kansas City next week. I can't wait, boy. This is going to be fun. That little flop master over there in Kansas City, you're going to get it. You're going to get this work. Boy, I'm happy for Sean, and I'll tell you right now, that locker room speech, I'm sure of it, is going to be epic. It's already out. It is fire. They're loaded up. I mean, Rico damn near brought a tear to my eye. It did. I gotta find it. I mean, I had tears in my eyes afterwards for a couple of reasons. One, the way that these guys win. What does Josh Allen do the second the game's over and they win, Rico? Josh Allen runs right up to Lamar, gives a hug. Yep. He gives the interview with Tracy Wolfson. What's the first thing Josh Allen says? How about that Buffalo Bills defense? And then you see Sean McDermott in the locker room. You knew how much that meant to him. I love these guys. An opposing team, opposing fan base, and not like what you just saw, what you just heard. And I'm sure he said a lot more off camera to really show the love that he's got for these boys. But man, talk about leadership. Listen, leadership. We've seen bad franchises. We've seen bad franchises and what bad franchises look like, and we've seen some great ones. Baltimore, great franchise. Buffalo, fantastic franchise. Kansas City, you already know what time it is with Kansas City. Look what Washington has done. Washington has not been a great franchise. They put new management in, head coach in there. They got a quarterback now. Fam, it's about the culture. And say what you will about McDermott, and say if he's corny and this, that, and the third. And I've been part of it too by saying, the process, bro. Trust the process. He's been telling you. And the process is just a few things, right? Being a community-driven type team where you embody the city, have love for one another, play for one another, and just play football, fundamental football, and we'll get the job done. Just trust in each other and trust what we're doing here. And that's exactly what he's done. He's building this team and built this team, especially this year, with guys that ask the average fan to name 7 players on a team, and it's not James Cook or Josh Allen. They might have a hard time doing it, right? It don't matter. A guy like Alec Anderson, I love him. AJ Epinesa, I love it. You know what I'm saying? You got to love it. Collins always just getting in somebody's face every snap. I thought he was going to cross the bill of a penalty today the way he was fired up. Mac Hollins absolutely put Humphreys on his tail. He drove that brother into the turf. You got to love it. And he's going hard, man. You got to love it. And you know what? Nobody's looking for Mac Hollins. Ain't nobody trying to sign Mac Hollins. But that boy led the team in TD receptions. Bro, bring on the cheese, baby. Bring on the cheese, boy. It's going to be a good one. We just got to get healthy. We got to get healthy. You love to see it, but kudos to the defense. How often have we been able to say in the playoffs, bro? How about that defense, bro?
Let me check. Let me check my inventory here. Never.
Let me check too.
This is why, Rico, right here. I actually think this is a compliment to me. Orlando Steve saying Allen was mediocre. Yeah, he was, and they just beat the Ravens as a dog with 27 points on the board. If that was mediocre for Allen, when's the last? You think Allen's stringing together 2 mediocre performances in a row? I don't think so. That to me is the ultimate testament of what that game just was. That's what that was that game in a nutshell. You know, I was on the AFC North roundtable the other day. I was hosting it, and they asked me my thoughts, and I gave my thoughts. I had shared this earlier in the week on here, and I had said that I thought this game was so razor thin, so close. I've never used the term razor thin as much in my life as I have the past week. That's how I felt about this game, and I had said that I really felt like the bulletin board material favored Buffalo in such a way that in a game that comes down to this type of ending, I think that is a reality in terms of the way it affects the football game. And I had somebody in the comment section of that video. They said, hey, I love Z-Bot. I'm a fan, but I haven't heard a single Bills fan give a legitimate reason as to why they think the Bills can win other than the rah-rah stuff. You just saw, in my opinion, what I think to be exactly what I predicted in that regard. The Bills came out in the first half in such a way. What's this saying? Maple. OMG, the Ravens beat the Ravens. Stop pretending that I don't care. Get that off my screen. I could give an absolute shit about that.
Dude, I was like, what?
I did not care about that at all. At all. I could care less. I'm not even going to read that. I had said.
Great job. That shit off my screen. I had to. I needed to laugh. I
had said, I thought that'd be the difference. Did you not see in that first half how much more energy, spunk, and fight the Bills played with? It didn't last the whole 60 minutes, Rico. It never does. The first half is what won the Bills the football game. And if they didn't come out the way that they did, then I don't think that they win it. And that's why I had thought that type of edge would be a difference. And I think it was in the first half, Rico. And ultimately, that culminated into the difference being a 2-point score at the end where the Bills just had a little more fight in them tonight for a little longer. And that's what mattered. You can't tell me that the energy, the motivation, the like you said earlier, the desire to want to come together and win for McDermott. And I think that stuff matters, man. I think it matters, and it mattered tonight. And I think it was a major difference in the game, Rico.
I couldn't disagree. Listen, I agree with everything you just said because it does matter. And that's the culture. And you see the last remaining teams that are in the playoffs right now. There's a culture that's being built. Look at these Eagles. Eagles are flying high right now. They feel real good about their run game, their defense, solid. Look at the Bills. Look at the Chiefs. Y'all, look at the Washington Commanders. Bro, and then there were 4. Who would have called it be? I mean, shoot, a lot of people would have said Chiefs and Bills, but they probably didn't. They wanted to count the Bills out and make it the Ravens and Chiefs, right? But here we are, knocking on your door saying, hey, hold on now. Bills are still in this bitch, right? Bills and Chiefs and Eagles and Commanders.
And what do they all have in common?
Everybody's got a quarterback, baby.
A dynamic quarterback. Every quarterback that's a pocket merchant, hate to say it, they're all gone. They all got bounced, every one of them. And guess what? The only one that lost to the divisional lost by a razor-thin margin. A razor-thin margin. That game tonight came. I can't believe I keep saying razor. I got to come up with a different saying. It's stuck in my head. But Lamar was the closest to victory tonight. And why? Because he is up there in that list of dynamic quarterbacks. You are seeing what the difference in the league is right now. It's no secret as to why Jaden Daniels is playing in an NFC Championship in his rookie year. Watch the guy, and then watch the rest of the league. And I'm not sitting here dissing Stafford or Goff. I'm not. But when it comes down to having to make those additional plays, for instance, even tonight, the Ravens aren't even back in that game if Lamar didn't have the scrambling ability that he did. The one biggest criticism I had of the Bills tonight more than anything, and I have a few that we'll talk about later in the show. We still got to ride the vibes here.
Oh, yeah.
But the one biggest criticism I had they did not run Allen nearly enough. I thought that they limited him. I thought that they limited his legs tonight. But that, to me, Rico, you look at the one commonality of all four of these teams, and they all got a quarterback that can beat you in a multitude of different ways. There's no secret why these four teams are representing the league in the championship round.
Listen, let me tell you something. So earlier today, in the chat, I'm just writing it down now so I can see it. So somebody was like, well, Allen was mediocre. Listen, Allen did what he needed to do to win the game. Allen was what you call a game manager for this game. I don't got to throw for 400 yards. What for? I just need to get the dub. I'm not that young player that needs to prove himself by getting 300-400 yards, bro. I need to make the right plays. I need to hit the right players for them to make the right plays, and I don't need to turn the ball over. That's what it comes down to. So I'm looking at what Josh Allen was able to do today, right? 16 for 22, okay? He had 6 incompletions, 127, 5, just 6 yards a pop. We'll round it up. No touchdown passes, no interceptions, took a sack today, right? Had a QBR of 71.1 and a rating of 86.7. I bring this up because I'm looking at teams that just need to get the job done, right? You just need to win. All your job is to get the game and get your team close enough and get the win. So then I went back to watch what Kansas City was able to do. And Kansas City, folks, Patrick Mahomes, 16 for 25.
Yeah.
Same numbers as Josh. $177, a little bit more, 7 yards a pop as opposed to 6, right? He had the 1 touchdown pass, took 3 sacks, had 66 QBR. Josh is 71 today, and a 98 rating, and Josh had 86. Bro, you got to have monster numbers.
Go look at Jalen Hurts' numbers while you're at it. Outside of that long run he had, go look at his numbers while you're at it.
Look at Mr. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts on today's matchup today. Check this out.
It's the exact same storyline.
Listen, Jalen Hurts, 15 for 20, $128, 6 yards a pop, no touchdown passes, no interceptions, 7 sacks. Golly, you got 7 sacks, 49 QBR, 91 rating. Bro, just make sure you don't turn the ball over and get the balls to the players that get the job done. And in this case, Saquon Barkley, that boy is just
he's him.
Your dog. You know what I mean? But that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. Stafford, 324 yards, although that boy a dog. You know it because we felt it. But, fam, just make the right decisions. Don't turn the ball over. And you know what? Your defense has to step up and play. And that's exactly what the Bills defense have done. They kept a team, the number 3 scoring offense, to what? 25 points? 25 points. First half, 10 points. And you know what? We called it in the first half, right? We thought, how close is the first half points going to be, right? And we're sitting here, it's going to be like 13-10. It's going to be within 7. Bro, we were on it. I wish that we converted when we came out of the halftime, but we came out super flat. That third quarter was abysmal, but we're neither here nor there. I want to ride the wave of how great we've been, and I want to keep that up. I absolutely want to keep that up.
And you know, people in the chat saying the Bills got lucky. I'm going to find the way. How do I want to phrase this? Other than saying I don't give a shit. I want to say that in these type of games, it really all just comes down to who did one additional thing better or worse. And I understand a lot went the Bills' way tonight, but you still, you have got to capitalize on the moments given to you. The Bills didn't fumble multiple times. They didn't throw a pick. They didn't have multiple drops. I understand the Bills benefited from the Ravens doing that, but have you ever thought about the Bills not doing that, benefiting them as well? I mean, that's the thing. These are the things that don't show up in the box score. I know Allen didn't air it out all over the field like we might like to see or run it all over the field, but he never put the ball in harm's way. He matured enough to where he didn't pitch that ball back to James Cook, Rico, where I think probably 2 years ago he does on the goal line there, right? I just think that in a game like this, it really all comes down to who played the smarter football.
Yes.
And the Bills finally did. And the reason why we're sitting here and we're acting like the Bills, I don't want to sit here and act like the Bills just dominated because they didn't. I'm not saying that they did, but the reason why we are excited about it, the Bills have never really been the team to have the superior mental performance. And they did tonight. And it was the difference. It was all the difference. It was the reason they won.
And let me tell you this. And what I love about social media and all those things, and you said it earlier, sometimes some chatter does make a difference, right? And we heard, man, that boy is like Lightning McQueen. Man, he's just that dude. Let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys ever saw Cars. If you guys ever saw Cars #2, I think this is #2. I mean, this brother.
Hey, McQueen, you all right?
Listen,
don't you worry, pal. You had a good run.
Storm takes back the lead.
Unbelievable.
McQueen is fading.
Love it. Before we get copyright, love to see it.
How about
what I
this
mean.
right here?
All week, all you've been hearing was how easy it's going to be to stop. Yo, I can't wait for Keyshawn Johnson's punk ass to jump on that show of his and have to sit going, well, Lamar didn't lose it, but Lamar also turned the ball over twice. Don't give me that bullshit that Lamar didn't lose it, right? At the end of the day, what it comes down to is this. Which quarterback made enough plays for his team to win? That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Which team made more plays enough for their team to win? And who took negative plays? The negative plays came from the Ravens side. And that's what you get, that home field advantage. I don't know if anybody in the chat was at the game, if they're home by now. But that home field advantage played such a part. These boys, I mean, I've never seen Josh Allen do this in my lifetime. When he got to the goal line, the first one, he went, raise the roof? He said, yo, step it up, everybody. Let's go. I was like, all right, we on something. We on to something, man. So big shout out to this fundamentally well-played game. And like Bot said, we didn't kill it, but we stepped up when we needed to step up and make the big plays. That Bernard play, I think that's the Buffalo Bills turning point. That's the turning point of that game. That play right there. Terrell Bernard made the play of the game with that turnover right there. What a crucial play at a crucial time in a crucial moment. Man, oh man, you got to love what this team was able to do. Got to love it. Big cool.
That was the play. That was the difference in the ball game. I got ESPN on here. They just flashed the stats. You can look at any stat you want. There is not a single stat that is more reflective of the outcome of this game than one. And it was 3 turnovers to 0. That is the difference.
Simple.
The Bills have played some of the cleanest football in NFL history this year. And guess who else had played an incredibly clean game? The Ravens, season. The Ravens all year long. They protected the ball. They didn't tonight. And for as many people that want to say the Bills got lucky and the Ravens choked, yeah, they definitely did to some degree. The Bills defense didn't impact the drop from Mark Andrews, I don't believe. But you can't tell me that Bills defense didn't force pressure onto that team throughout the game. You can't tell me Lamar had a couple of mistakes that he did because of what that defense put on the shoulders of that Baltimore Ravens offense. The Bills defense had as much to do with, I think, the outcome of the way that the Ravens offense performed than it was just the Ravens offense kind of self-imploding. The Bills defense made it difficult for them all game long.
And that's the thing that people, if they're going to be real, and if they're going to be honest with themselves, give credit to the defense that was able to do that. Give credit to the defense that historically, when it comes to the playoffs, they don't perform. They don't come in and do what they need to do. So you got to give them all the credit for that move. So big shout out to the defense. Big shout out to Matt Milano. Every one of those guys that stepped up, they knew what was on the plate. They knew what was at stake here. Hey, the first matchup, and it's almost a blessing in disguise if you think about it, right? We lose that first game. We lose that first game to the Ravens. And how we lost played a big factor on what we decided to do to them today, right? You saw the epic picture of Matt Milano, Taron Johnson, and Bernard standing next to each other. You saw that. You're like, man. And we played as best we could. We had some bad circumstances, but these boys weren't even playing, bro. It's going to be a different game. We knew it. It's going to be a different game when these boys show up. But being there, you have to be a difference maker. And that's exactly what they were. I will say this, though. There's one thing that stood out to me. I don't know if you guys saw it. And I'm going to get on somebody mentioned the Pro Bowlers, right? Love that you meant 9 Pro Bowlers didn't fumble, just 2. Hey, listen, 9 Pro Bowlers didn't fumble, just 2 guys. Listen, you already know what time it is. But let me say this, though. One player that I don't know if he stood out for you, but he absolutely stood out for me. And the few times that I saw this player absolutely stood out. How many times did you see Dorian Williams make a play? Dorian Williams is an absolute nutcase. These guys were on the goal line. And Dorian Williams, I can't remember if it wasn't Who did he stop? Was it Mark Andrews or was it Derrick Henry?
What play?
Dorian Williams, number 42, they put him in the red zone. I love the fact that they put him in the red zone.
I love that you're bringing this up. This has to be one of the most underrated parts of the game. I already forgot the goal line stand. It was huge.
Dorian Williams was absolutely, I'm going to see if I can find the clip, but it's an underrated play. And I love the fact that they found a way to get Dorian Williams in here, because if not for Dorian Williams making that play, that changes a lot of the game. So there were crucial moments for crucial players to make crucial plays, and it just worked out the way we needed to work out. But, buddy, don't sleep on Dorian Williams because he had some moments. Special teams, that boy was knocking heads. That boy was absolutely knocking heads. Great play by that man. Listen, big shout out to Dorian Williams. Great job. Gotta love it. Love the fact that they went 4 defensive linemen with 3 linebackers, that 4-3-D. Love to see it. Yeah, love to see it, and I want to see more of it. But, yo, Dorian Williams, man, give him the credit. Give him the credit, man. What a play by Bernard. I'm looking at the play right now. What a play by Bernard.
Dude,
what a crucial play by Bernard.
Like, if you had like a television screen on your wall that just looped the top 10 Bills plays of all time, that's making my short list. Like, I don't think, dude, they do not win the game without that play. They don't win the game. At the minimum, they're getting a field goal there, and they lost by 2. Like, they just don't win the game. There are so many plays in this game, Rico, where they just don't win if it doesn't happen. The Dorian Williams play you're bringing up is a perfect example. You get the Ravens down to the 3-yard line. Who isn't betting their home on them getting into the damn end zone? I mean, give me a break. And they didn't. They didn't. I mean, I just want to go through real quick here.
Go ahead.
Because to me, you're going to look back at and if you're a Ravens fan, you got to be sick. If I'm a Ravens fan, I'm sick to my stomach because it feels like you sold the game. It definitely does. But ultimately, the difference was this list that I'm about to list off, and then I'm going to list off a Bills list, okay?
Okay.
You had a Henry drop, 2 massive Mark Andrews drops. You had the you had the goal line stand. You also had, in my opinion, an offense early in the game that was incapable of adjusting to what the Bills were throwing at him, which is rare because it typically seems like the Ravens are the team that kind of sets the tone. You had a laundry list of all of these different errors by the Ravens. And if you were to make up a list of the Bills' errors in this game, I don't think there's one that legitimately comes to mind. You also had a penalty on that goal line drive as well, Rico, by the Ravens that stepped them back a couple of yards as well. So you just had self-inflicted wounds. And I think that we can go back to a lot of different Bills games, and the list that you would have for the Bills side of things would be like a TJ Maxx receipt, right? But in this game, the fact that I can look back and it did not entail a laundry list of Bills mistakes ultimately is the difference. And I think what sticks out to me the most here, the beauty of it, is that on maybe the list of things that you didn't love, that Allen didn't play that well,
right?
Doesn't it make you more confident in his ability to play well next week? If Allen just had 450 yards and 5 touchdowns, I would have to think it to myself, man, I don't know if they're replicating that. They just won a game where they really didn't play their best for 60 minutes. And I feel like that has to have you more confident than if they had barely won that game by literally playing the best football game you've ever seen from them.
Listen, you couldn't have said it any better than that. And you can pick moments in this game where you can give someone credit. I'm going to give credit to someone that I never thought I'd give credit to. I ain't gonna lie. Demar Hamlin had himself a game today.
No doubt.
Demar Hamlin had himself a game today. I'm baffled I'm saying it, but I'm proud that I'm saying it too, because like you said, there was moments where someone had to step up and make a play. And Demar Hamlin had his moment. Bernard had his moment. Dorian Williams had a moment. Everybody had their moment in that game to make a stamp. Dorian Williams, Demar Hamlin led the team with 8 tackles today, 5 of them solo. He had himself a sack in this game. Bro, 2 tackles for loss. D-Ham was balling today.
He got in there and forced the fumble that really flipped the game in the beginning of the first half, or in the first half.
Fam, D-Ham, listen, give credit. I mean, I know we joke around and was, look at this guy taking off. I was cracking on him when he took his helmet off and he did all that. I mean, all that bull. Bro, he was balling today. You gotta give Damar Hamlin, his pops got to be very proud of him because I know we've been begging on your boy.
I'm proud.
But, he played hard. He got his head in there. He got nasty. He got gritty. I mean, he wasn't afraid to get tackled. Bro, if not for Damar Hamlin making that tackle on Derrick Henry's taking it to the house. Derrick Henry is taking it to the house. Damar Hamlin got no fear in him and came in to make that tackle. Great job, Damar Hamlin. Yo, everyone stepped up. And here's the thing. You said something about Josh Allen. Josh Allen didn't have his best game, and it's okay. And it absolutely is okay because I'll tell you right now, Josh not having his best game today will fuel him to have his best game next week. So if you thought that this is what Josh is, bro, no. Josh saves those performances to go up against his boy Pat Mahomes. It's going to be epic. The only thing that I ask for is for the defense to bring it with them. Don't let it just be the Josh Allen show. Step your game up. Bring it with you guys. What you did against this Ravens team, don't let it all hang out, and that was it. You put all your juice into this game. We got 2 more games to go. And this is where maturity has to come in. We've got enough veteran guys on this team that says, hey, settle down, Buck. Settle down, everybody. Von Miller, hey, that's 1 game. We got 1 more to go, and then we got 1 to win. So let's take this win in. Let's take it in, and let's move it. But give credit to Damar Hamlin, man. Damar Hamlin came through. Like, yo, I'm proud of this defense.
Rico.
I'm proud of this defense, man. Straight up.
What if I told you, if you can think back to one thing that we've said really all year, but what's the one thing, I know I'm putting you on the spot, but what's one of the things that you and I both agreed on that we needed to see be eliminated in the postseason for the Bills to have their best chance to win?
Oh, wow. What needs to be eliminated for the Bills to have their best chance to win?
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about this.
It's got something to do with what people have been bitching about a lot this weekend. Penalties.
I was about to say the penalties have been killing us, and we were, fam, today.
Go ahead and look at how many penalties the Bills had today, and it should never have been called.
1 penalty today. 1 penalty.
And it should never have been
penalty
called.
We did have was a bogus call. Now, there was a couple times we should have had penalties. I'll tell you. I'll be real.
Now, wait a minute. Holy shit.
Are you going where I'm going?
Oh, yeah. Look, I'm honest in victory. I'm honest in defeat. That call on Tre'Davious White was horrid. That was a penalty on Keon Coleman every day and twice on Sunday.
I disagree.
Oh, I don't know how you could.
I'll tell you how I could.
All right.
That brother was holding before my man could actually, continue his route. Yo, he was beat. And we love Tre'Davious, but Tre'Davious has been, he's on the back end of his career, and that brother's been a holding machine. That brother was holding Keon. Now, could you have let them play? Granted, yes. But if there was a flag to be called, it certainly was not going to be on Keon Coleman. Keon Coleman's trying to make a play on the ball. Tre'Davious White was not. So I ain't gonna give that one to her. But you saw something different.
I thought he pushed off. Either way, whether or not you thought Coleman committed a penalty, I didn't think it was a penalty. But Ed Oliver tackled Lamar Jackson out of bounds. I was stunned. I don't know. I was stunned. The officiating, I thought, I was so stunned at a couple of times when they didn't throw a flag. But then they did throw that flag on Deion Dawkins. Like, dude, he just dominated his guy. How are you throwing a flag on that? It didn't seem like it was a major factor in this game, but I had to just throw that out there because the Bills all year long have felt like they've been hovering at around 7 to 8, 9 penalties a game. They played clean football. Once again, the difference in a ball game like this is so thin. And if the Bills had a couple of more penalties, like, who knows? Who knows? The way that these games go now, you get a couple more penalties, a hold here, a pass interference here. They didn't do it. It's just one more thing to add to the list, Rico, of the Bills' ability to win this game doing things that have not necessarily been conducive to how they've won. It's just, man.
Now, you mentioned the penalties, and I'm so glad that you mentioned the penalties because that was the one that was you and I are on the same page. Like that Ed Oliver one, I was like, dude, Ed, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's a Jerry Hughes move. What are you doing, big guy? Right? And we didn't get a call. Thank goodness. Let's move on to the sideline. But I will say this. We talked about the one penalty that we had that was crucial. We were discipline in this game. Love to take, but it was an awful call. We all agree on that, right? We're talking about having those 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers were amazing. We needed those. That's what got us the win in this game. I will say this: 2 things that took place in this game that I think were what made us win this game. Number 1, we were absolutely putrid on 3rd downs the last time we played this team. I think we converted 3 for 12. I think it was something stupid. We were awful. Today, 5 for 11. So right around the mark, the 50%, 45 to 50% mark, that's where we were hovering around. That's number 1. Number 2, last week, we were awful in red zone. Absolutely awful. What were we like? 1 for 5 in the red zone? I can't remember what it was.
1 for 4.
1 for 5 in the red zone. Today, ladies and gentlemen, the Bills were 3 for 4 in the red zone. When we got in the red zone, we handled our business. We got in the end zone. That's what we absolutely needed, and that's exactly what we did. 3 for 4 in the red zone. But that's what you need to do as a team. When the defense gives you the football right back, you got to capitalize. And that's exactly what we did. We capitalized in the red zone. We put points on the board. Instead of taking 3s, we took 7s. And you got to do it. And that's why we ended up with the score of 27-25. Did you think that this game was going to be as close as it was today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think I predicted 23-20. It finished 27-25.
Great prediction.
You were, what did you have? 31-30? I mean,
31-30. I was like, 31 is going to be a close one.
Yeah, I had always thought it was going to be like this. I knew for a fact that they were going to go down and score the second. Let's start. All right, so we've spent about an hour here really just getting our rocks off. I mean, having a ball, right, and celebrating this. Let's get down.
We should get our rocks off for crying out loud.
We've been
holding on to it. We've been holding on. Let us release.
You ain't backed up. You ain't getting.
We backed up, bro.
Let's get into some nitty gritty here. Okay. Let's start. All right. So let's start with the Bills' decision to kick the field goal, because that ultimately set up this game being 27-25. So the Bills are running clock in that situation. Talk to me about where you're at on how that drive ended and the decision to take the 3 points, go up by 8, and then see if your defense can end it.
All right. So here's what I'm looking at. So we're in the red zone, right? It's second. It was 3rd and 2. I'm like, okay, we've got time on our hands and we've got Josh Allen. I was like, let's just get in there, get behind me. We're going to plow our way into the end zone. And I see us in shotgun. I was like, okay, why? Initially, I'm thinking, why are we in shotgun? This is a crucial moment in this game. We can put these guys away right now by going up 2 scores. Why? What are we doing here? And we ultimately failed. Josh gets held up. It's 4th and 1 and long. It was a long one. Now I'm thinking
pretty much 4th and 2. That's how long it was. Yeah.
4th and 2. Let's call it 4th and 2. I'm thinking to myself, okay, how much do you trust Josh and this O-line? And looking at the landscape of the game, have we done enough and converted enough for you to jump in and go for that 4th and 2? I didn't see it, and I couldn't justify it. And then I loved it when I saw McDermott walk up to the goal line, take a look at it.
He was surveying.
He was like, and before he even goes up, let's just go before he goes up. I'm thinking, what's in his mind? Do I trust my analytics and trust what the analytics would say I should do in this position? Time of possession, where we're at, how the game is going. Do I take 3 and go 8? Do I trust my defense enough? Is my defense playing well enough? And luckily, we have been, and we were. So I got to take the points. But I'm sure he was eating himself in live, because there's nobody making the decision. You can make it all the. You should do this. You should do this, Sean. You should do that, Sean. Sean's got to rest on him. And I'm sure he had like a That's So Ravens moment. He goes into the future and he's like, and he's doing a press conference, how he's got to explain, it's on me. I made the decision. I should have. He was like, I ain't doing that. Goes back into it. Take that field goal. I'm going to trust his defense. And that's exactly what we did. And I love that he made that decision. Although I love you, Josh, I trust you, but you got to trust me now. We're going to take these points. We're going to take this 8. I would have grabbed Tyler Bass from his helmet like this and said, hey, Don't this up for us. Get in there and make that kick. And sure he did. So I felt really good for our moment. I was indifferent. I was like, okay, if we go for it, I'm not mad at it because that shows that he wants to win this thing. But if we take the field goal, it's a smart thing. And his defense has been playing pretty damn good. And now we're about to find out if Lamar can actually go all the way down and not only score, but you got to essentially score twice. So I'll take my chances on you having to score twice on this defense. And it ended up going in our favor. Did you see it that way? Were you like, no, you should absolutely go for it. I don't know why you took that field goal. I would have went for it. Or were you on the opposite side?
Man, did this not feel like the moment we'd be talking about forever if the Bills lost the football game?
Buddy.
Did this not feel like it would be up there with the 13 seconds in terms of a moment that you could pick out of the top of your brain at any given moment and say, yep, I was 27 years old when Sean McDermott decided to settle for the 3 and put in the hands of the defense, and the Ravens went down and tied it, then lost in overtime. In hindsight, Rico, of course it was the right call. The Bills lost. The Bills won. The Ravens didn't get the 2 point. What led up to it, I hated. Tony Romo said exactly what should have been done. And I'm going to segue what I'm about to say here into what we're going to talk about next, because I think we both are probably going to have a lot to say about this. The conservative nature of that drive was blowing my mind. They didn't throw it at all. They kept running. And I was shocked that they had ran it into an ability to be able to even go and try and score a touchdown. They had set up in a stacked formation offensively where a run just seemed inevitable. You mentioned it, the shotgun. There are 2 plays in football that I hate more than anything. I mean, I don't care if it works or not. It makes me want to vomit. And that is a pitch to the outside. I think it's one of the worst plays in football. I hate the pitch. I never understood.
Not a fan.
No, I hate it. I never understood why you're backing the running back up 4 additional yards to try to get upfield. I hate the pitch. But the play that I hate in football more than anything is a short yardage to go shotgun run. I hate it. I never understood putting yourself in a tougher spot to get a short yardage to move the sticks or get into the end zone. I never understood it. Me and my buddies, every time we see it, even if it's a Bills game or not, we just send it in the group chat. Shotgun run. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. I hate it. So Tony Romo said it. You do the tush push twice here. There is no way that play has been so automatic. The Buffalo Bills get 1 yard on that play in their sleep. There's no way. You run it twice.
Facts.
The fact that here's where I felt like, Rick, I don't know how to describe this without sounding just out of my mind insane. But there's moments in a game as you're watching it live, you think to yourself, is that going to be the next 13-second moment? Is that going to be the next moment we talk about forever? And Josh Allen on a shotgun run on second down, he had a clear lane to the end zone and he got tripped up.
I know.
It felt like he was going to walk in, Rico. And I looked at my dad and I said, did that not feel like an omen? The fact that he tripped up, he never trips up. Did that not feel like it's setting these guys up to get stuffed at the goal line and then they get screwed? Then Romo says exactly what me and my dad are saying. I said, you got one of the best forces of nature at the quarterback position ever. They run a play that nobody can stop, and that's the tush push. Run it twice here. I think the game's over. They line up in gun again.
I know.
I hated it. And the reason I hated it beyond going in the gun, Rico, everybody knew Allen was going to run it there. The Ravens knew it. I knew it. You knew it. I hated it. They settled for the field goal. And in hindsight, even though it wound up working out, and even though if it didn't work out, we'd be criticizing it, based on the play call there, it was the right call. Because if you go for it on 4th and don't get it and lose in regulation because of it, then that becomes the 13-second moment, right? Kicking the field goal there pretty much guarantees you overtime. So if I had to weigh it on a scale of liking it to not liking it, I would weigh that on probably a 55 to 45, liking it, not liking it, because at least you're setting yourself up to be in a winning scenario pretty much regardless. But the whole point here in terms of how they got into the situation, Rico, to have to make that decision was Joe Brady's performance in the second half. And I think that's where we should go here next.
Joe Brady. Well, listen, Joe Brady has been in this position before where you're like, okay, Joe, what are you doing? Like, why are you not trusting Josh and Josh's abilities to go downfield? I had a problem. I felt that we didn't go downfield enough. Now, was that the tactic that we wanted to use? We wanted to stay short. We wanted to kill clock. I don't know. We wanted the easy runs. I don't know what the premise was, but that third quarter was absolutely abysmal. We were throwing screenplays left, right, center. Like what? And there are moments where Joe Brady turns into a screen merchant, where all he wants to do is just throw screen pass, screenplay to receiver, screenplay over here. He had 2 straight screen. We had 3 failed drives in that third quarter, and there were most of them were just screenplays. And I was like, what are we doing? Why are we not trusting the process and trusting Josh and getting these guys downfield? Is it our guys can't get separation? I truly don't believe that. You got Kincaid, you got Curtis Samuel, you have Amari Cooper. Those guys can get open. What's the problem here? And Shakir, I don't get it. No, and I get it. There's this whole notion of the screenplay is the extension of a run play. Man, F all that. You got receivers, use them downfield. So Joe Brady, in a way, was getting away from what we needed to win the game. I don't know if that was part of the game plan. I didn't like it. And that could have, I don't want to say cost us game, but it really slowed us down because the momentum was on our side. You get the ball back, be aggressive and take it to them. But we were conservative on the offensive side of the ball, and we were quick 3 and out, it felt like, and we're gone. So if Joe Brady, like you, love what you're doing, you have an ability to be a head coach somewhere because I know you get interviews, but bro, that performance, it could have been a lot cleaner. It could have been a lot more efficient. You got a Ferrari, bro. What are you taking us on a back road for, man? Get us on the highway and get going. I mean, you took us on a back road like it's Sunday afternoon, bro. It ain't the time for that. We're playing the Ravens, man. Get on the highway and let's do something. Let's get aggressive here. And I felt that we lacked aggressiveness, and that's what kind of stalled us and allowing the freaking Ravens to get back into this. And not only that, you almost took away the performance from the defense. The defense did a damn good job on keeping these guys at bay, taking the ball away from them, and you get the ball back, and then you pull that stunt. Bro, Joe Brady, you got to be better. You had to be better. I like how we finished the game, but bro, that third quarter was abysmal. Your thoughts? Rico,
I'm so glad we get to talk about this performance from Joe Brady after a W. Because if we were talking about this after a loss, you and I would have been finishing up an hour and 15 minutes talking about it from the jump. That was one of Joe Brady's worst coaching performances in his entire career. And he better go home after that game, take a hard look in the mirror and realize how lucky he was for those Buffalo Bills to have gotten out of there alive with a W, because that loss would have been put on the shoulders of him had they had gotten out of there with a loss. You just said it. The way he called that second half would have completely eradicated the performance that the defense gave you. No question about it. Rico.
No question.
Khalil Shakir, 6 catches for 67 yards. Here are the following numbers for the other weapons on the team not named James Cook. Matt Collins, 1 catch, 12 yards. Kincaid, 1 catch, 11 yards. Curtis Samuel, 2 catches, 9 yards. Ty Johnson, 1 catch, 8 yards. Keon Coleman, 1 catch, 5 yards. Dawson Knox, 1 catch, 0 yards. The worst play call of the game, by the way. Amari Cooper, 0 catches, 0 yards. Here was the playbook in the second half for Joe Brady, Rico. My favorite play that I just mentioned, a pitch to the outside, a screen pass, or a run-off tackle. How many times did you have to run off tackle on first down and put this team in 2nd and 8 to realize, hey, maybe I should start utilizing one of the best talents we've ever seen at the quarterback position to go and win this ball game for us? Where was the creativity when it came to anything? Nothing was schemed up to get the ball down the field at all. And what killed me the most, say the Ravens took away the pass game completely. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this game to understand why the ball was not thrown down the field at all. But say that, let's just give the Ravens the benefit of the doubt. And let's say that they were just playing, like we're talking Alcatraz lockdown defense, okay? Why was there not one single creative run play for one of the most electric running quarterbacks we've ever seen in our lifetime? They didn't dial up one play that allowed Allen to get to the outside and run the football. Nothing. He coached that second half, Rico, like they were up 30 in the fourth quarter, trying to run the ball out and go home. That loss, in my opinion, Rico, should it have been a loss? I think I would have talked about that performance from Joe Brady until I passed out from talking about it. I genuinely believe that. I think out of anyone here, is the luckiest man on the planet for getting out of there with a W. That also includes that final drive there. How do you not understand what you have? How do you not understand going gun there doesn't make any sense? Why not utilize a play that has been unstoppable for you? Here's the other thing that stood out to me the most in terms of like, wow, like say you were iffy about what he had done in the second half. It's 3rd and 5. And you draw up a screen pass to one of your slowest weapons on offense, Dawson Knox. Why are you running a swing screen to Dawson Knox on the left side of the field with 5 yards to go?
Hated that.
Rico, it was awful. I ask you.
I hated that.
What do you think he was like? This is what we love so much about Joe Brady, his ability to adapt to the football game and implement what is necessary to win. It couldn't have felt more in the opposite in the second half. What do you think his mindset was that allowed the Bills offense, in my opinion, to let these Ravens back in the football game?
And you know, sometimes offensive coordinators get cute. They're feeling like, okay, I don't know if he's got two things he's looking at it. Is he looking at it like, shoot, I haven't got Dawson Knox involved in this game, so you know what? Let me throw him a bone and throw him the screen and maybe it could work. I hope that's not his game plan, and I hope that wasn't the case. But know your personnel. Like if you're going to give a screen to somebody, you give a screen to somebody like that can make a move. Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel.
Correct.
Those are the two you give the screen to. Or you know what? A running back screen to James Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis. One of those guys will be suffice. But the fact that you went to I don't know if it was personnel and you decided to check out of it. I hated it, didn't like it. You didn't need to do it. And it cost us. That's the thing. It cost us. So I was like, bro, nah, you can't pull stuff like that. So Joe Brady, I will say this. So somebody said in the chat, and I'm gonna repeat it. I personally hate when teams that are still in the playoffs are still interviewing for jobs. I don't care what anybody wants to tell me. If I'm doing my personal job, and I like my job, but there's a potential job opening somewhere else. My mind is not on my job at work. I'll be real. I'm there, but I'm not there. You feel me? Because I'm thinking, shoot, did I interview well for that job? I hope I said the right thing. Okay, I got another job. Okay, let me go interview for that job. Bro, I'm not 100% committed to my squad. Yo, if I'm in it, and teams will respect it, because if they really want you, they're going to be like, yo, all right, I'll wait till you're done, and then we can do it. Because this tells me this offensive coordinator / my head coach is about his business. But if you're taking interviews and you lottie-dong and trying to smoosh owners on this and smoosh that coach over there, bro, shut your ass up and sit down and do the task at hand. And that's getting your team prepared. Bro, I don't like it, and I get it. Some folks can multitask. Bro, the game plan was already in place. I don't got to do anything. It's just the optics too, right? It just feels right. Let's just say game plan's already in and he interviewed Friday. He's got nothing to do with the team. Everybody's going traveling. Now I'm going to take myself. I don't care. I'm not all the way in it. I need to be all the way focused and in my shit. Because as a human, right? Human nature would have us like daydreaming about something. Let's just say he's in the booth and it's commercial break. Okay. And everybody's in their mode. They're on their phones checking some shit. Could I be thinking about, yeah, man, did I say that properly when I was interviewing for the Bears job or the Raiders job or wherever the F he did it? Oh, commercial's back on. Okay, let me focus back. Nah, bro. I need you dialed all the way in. So this interviewing bullshit, if I'm McDermott, no. Cancel. You're not your interview. If I'm head coach, you're not interviewing for anything until our season's done. Because I need you to focus. These guys need you. You need them. Let's roll. I didn't want to ramble too much on that, but that annoys the heck out of me when teams have, because it plays into what kind of bullshit call was that? The screenplay to Dawson Knox. Love Dawson Knox. I prefer him down the field and in space, because him going up against a little DB, I love to see it. But go back to the Denver game when they were at home, when he absolutely, was it Denver or the Bengals? I can't remember, where he absolutely annihilated that DB on the ground. I think it was Cincinnati. Boy, did he ever crush that. I need him in space, not taking a screenplay. Man, knock it off, man. I hate to see it, don't like it, but hey, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. By the way, he says they can't RICO is illegal. I know it's illegal. I mean, I don't know if it's illegal or not. If it says no, you can't. If I'm the head coach and you're still under my tutelage and all that stuff, I need you focused. Bro, you should know me enough to say, yo, I'm not going to do it. If I can't say no, you should know me enough to say, as for respect for my teammates and my head coach, I ain't going to take no interviews, especially because I'm in it right now. And you're about to go to the AFC Championship. Boy, you better shut shit down. You're about to face the Kansas City Chiefs that are trying to three-peat. Bro, you better sit your ass down and buckle up because we got a big-time thing coming our way.
It felt like he was trying to run the clock out on the first drive of the second half and didn't take into consideration that you had the MVP on the other side of the ball with a running back that is known to be better in the second half and had damn near 2,000 yards on the year. I saw a comment earlier saying, why the Joe Brady hate? He's brought the best out of the Bills. No question about it. I don't think anybody is saying the praises of Joe Brady more than Rico and I. That's why we're talking about what we're talking about right now. How devastating would it have been if the Bills lost that game because Joe Brady, who had revived this Bills offense, ended up being the one to cost him? I thought that Joe Brady dug a hole for this Bills offense in the second half. No. You know, Josh Allen didn't have a terrific performance. It felt like it wasn't being schemed up for him to succeed a lot in the second half. They felt like they took the ball out of Allen's hands, Rico, in the second half, and I didn't love that. Tony Romo kept referring to it by saying, you know, if we're going to go down, we're going to go down with it being with the ball being in 17's hands. You know, he really did not get him involved much in the second half. I've always loved Brady's ability to get Allen moving around, running the ball, getting other guys involved. Yep. It just wasn't there, and it felt like the door was left open for Baltimore based on the way Joe Brady conservatively coached that second half. That's why I'm so happy we get to talk about this in a W, because I know Joe Brady's no dummy. When they went out and played their worst two offensive performances of the year against Baltimore in week 4 and Houston in week 5, what happened after that? They rattled off 10 games out of 11, scoring 30-plus points or whatever it was. The lucky thing for us Bills fans here is I think Joe Brady is going to reflect based on this, and I think Joe Brady is going to coach a better game next week, no doubt about it. But you watch that second half, Rico, and you cannot tell me that offensive approach was not far more conservative than the game allowed. I know you're up by 11, but you are also not playing a bottom feeder offense. If you do not continue to keep your foot on the gas, that's an offense that's going to burn you, and it almost did. So that was the most disheartening part of the second half for me. You knew this defense was only going to be able to hold up for so long. As great as this defense played, you have Lamar and Derrick Henry. Like, they're going to get theirs at some point. The Bills' offense had to continue to stack, and they didn't. And luckily for them, they did enough in the first quarter, Rico, that they had a cushion to get it done at the end.
They certainly did. And there's a whole lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas in the game, and I'm so glad that how the game resulted in the W, you have another week to clean things up. And that's the beautiful thing about football. There's another week to clean your mess up. And I'm sure every player, every coach reflects on, all right, we're on the ride home. We're about to handle some business. We're about to, take the flight home. There's a moment of reflection for each player and say, yo, how did I do today? And if I'm Coach Brady, bro, maybe I should have done this. Maybe I should have done that. And this is not a bad thing. I think this is a great thing because now it allows him to say, okay, that was a totally different defensive team. So I can clean that up. That's why you've got to call your best shots. And I get it. Sometimes you get cute and you try to do something different that you think is going to get the team off guard, catch them off guard. But this wasn't it. This was an alert Ravens defense. They knew what was coming. They sniffed that up real quick. And they know that's one of the plays that we like to do, Joe Brady. So I know you stayed away from it as much as you could, but then you start to go to it and you got too comfortable going to that screenplay. And it resulted in what it resulted in. Can't have that. You absolutely can't have that. So although I'd like to say and poo-poo on the situation, there was some great calls at the beginning of the game. We were actually going down the field, right? That first shot, which I absolutely loved. That first shot, I think it was going to Mac Hollins. That first play, that play action to the sideline. If he hits and he connects, we're rolling. And now Joe Brady's probably looking at this, okay, all right, I got some spots that I can hit. But there came a time where he got too lackadaisical, if you will, and then he reverted back to the good old screenplay. But you can't keep pulling that stuff, bro. You got to change things up a little bit. And Kansas City and Spags are going to be all over that. So go back to that first game, tiny little bit, because you're not going to face the same team. The Kansas City Chiefs have definitely improved. They've gotten better. They got rest. We got banged up a little bit. So we got to make sure that we're on top of things. And we're going to take a little mini tiny break because we want to make sure that if you're all here, go ahead and jump on Fathead. We've also collaborated with Fathead. You have an opportunity right now. Go ahead and spruce up the old bedroom, spruce up the old man cave, get yourself Fathead. Here it is, a promo code. Use the Buffalo Fanatics code, which is Buff Fanatics 15. Not only does it give you 15%, but you can tell your friends that they can get 15% off of that. So go ahead and do that for us and jump on that fathead.com. Go ahead and hit that code, Buff Fanatics. Get 15% off. I'm trying to hook y'all up, man. Go ahead and do that. Now, I got to show you something, but I don't know if you were able to see Lamar Jackson.
Hold on, I just want to say, by the way, I think that game permanently damaged my bladder. I have urinated, not to be too specific. I have gone to the bathroom 45 times today. I don't know, dude. I was so nervous for that game. I'm not gonna lie to you. I literally almost had a heart attack like 7 different times, and I think it's permanently affected my bladder. I cannot stop going to the bathroom. That's why I keep bouncing off. So I just wanted to apologize.
Listen, you don't got to apologize for anything, man. Empty that bladder completely, and you're backed up a little bit. You're backed up. You're releasing yourself. Go ahead and do what you got to do. But speaking of backed up, our guy Lamar Jackson got backed up and sent back to Baltimore. And for those that are in the chat from Baltimore, I love how y'all say the words that have you in it. It's like when someone wants to say I love you, they don't say I love you, they say I love ye.
Yeah, the Maryland accent's great. I love it.
You Baltimore Cats, I love what you do. I love what y'all do. But anyway, Lamar Jackson had a little something to say today after the game, and as you never really get. I mean, I never play clips from the losing quarterback, but this game is of this magnitude. You kind of want to see where his head is at. And for a guy that took a loss, I'm sure he's taking it really hard. And I'm curious to see how he took it. So here's Lamar Jackson after the game expressing himself.
First half, I had 2 costly turnovers. Me not holding the safety, me just knowing the coverage, me knowing it was man through a BS interception. It was 7-7 at the time. I believe they scored after that. Battle back, fumble, snap, trying to make something happen. Couldn't throw it. It was like a RPO play, so I couldn't really throw the ball to likely, the offensive line was down the field. So I was trying to make something happen. Tried to squeeze the ball, it slipped out my hand. Von Miller picked it up, got some yards. I think that led to points for them. So it's a team effort out there. He been busting his behind, he making plays happen out there on that field for us. Came up short. And like I've been saying all season, every time we're in situations like this, turnovers play a factor. Penalties play a factor. Tonight, the turnovers, you can't have that shit, And that's why we lost the game. Because as you can see, we're moving the ball wonderfully. It's hold on to the fucking ball. I'm sorry for my language. This shit annoying. I'm tired of this shit, man.
Well,
damn,
Lamar, I feel you.
I mean, he's dead on. Look, you know what sucks, man?
How do you react to that? How do you react to Lamar talking about his turnovers and how it resulted in the eventual loss to the Bills?
Tony Romo said it at the top of the broadcast. He said, I can't believe that one of these guys has to go home after this game. I love Lamar.
Me too.
It felt like this game should have been the AFC Championship. I mean, the fact that the winner of this game's reward is having to go to Arrowhead is crazy. The NFC, dude, if Jaden Daniels, I love Jaden Daniels. And if you're wondering if I don't love Jaden Daniels, go watch my stream from last night. I must have said how much I love the guy for a half an hour straight. He ain't getting to the AFC Championship, Rico, in his rookie year. Jaden Daniels is not going to the AFC Championship in his rookie year. The NFC is not the AFC. And you saw tonight, the prize for winning this game, Rico, is to go and play Mahomes in his 7th consecutive AFC Championship game. Okay. There's levels to this, and the AFC is crazy. So the fact that one of these teams had to lose in this game for it to not be a right to go to the title game is wild. I love the accountability, and I always have. I love the team. I love a guy who is able to be accountable. And that's a guy who's going to win the MVP right there for the third time. We'll put that game on him. And I think that he's not being hyperbolic, and he's not doing that to be the quarterback-eel type person there, Rico. In his heart of hearts, in my heart of hearts, and I think in a lot of people's heart who watch that game, if he eliminates maybe one of his errors in that game, it's different. Now, like I said, and I'll continue to say this, he did enough, in my opinion, in that second half to put his team in position to win. There were other people on his squad that added to his errors that ultimately culminated into the Ravens losing this football game. But that's a guy, Rico, Lamar, who has been criticized all the way up until this game for not being able to get over the hump in the playoffs. He's been criticized as a guy, unlike Allen, by the way. Allen's been criticized for not being able to get past Mahomes. But Allen hasn't really been criticized for playing poorly in the playoffs. Lamar has. And I think you can make an argument that that first half of this game, Rico, was one of the poorer halves Lamar had played this year on a big stage. And I think you just saw him in that post-game presser, Rico, really wear his heart on his sleeve, letting you know, man, I really feel like this one's on me. And there's a lot of moments in that game I'd love to have back.
Absolutely. And it's to the point where social media starts to kind of clown on.
Oh, no.
On Lamar, and this is Lamar when he sees Mark Andrews in the locker room. You gotta love RDC World, because these boys don't play around. Yo, when he sees Mark Andrews,
this dude is so, the one you sent me. Is it the same guy? Is that the same guy you sent me who did the Penn State one after they lost last week? Is this
no,
the same guy or no? It's not. Dude, these videos, that one you sent me killed me.
No, that was a goodie. That was a goodie.
Speaking of that meme right there, let's talk about it, Rico.
Talk about it.
Walk me through Mark Andrews dropping that gift of a 2-point game. I mean, Rico, we're not sitting here. We might not be that game. Whether they win or lose, we're not sitting here talking about the same game if he catches that. Talk me through your mind when you see that ball hit the cold turf of the route.
Buddy, I don't even know. I assume my wife recorded, because, like, okay, so backstory. I got to go through it. We got these little mini cameras in the house. So when Zakiah, my little guy's walking over, we can kind of see where he's at. Right. So we have one in the basement, and I have my basement. I don't play games. I tell the girls, I don't mess with y'all. And if you guys are having parties or whatnot, I'm watching to see what's going on. So the wife was recording through the camera, watching my reaction with my man Andrew that was at the game. So I think she may have caught my reaction to when Mark Andrews dropped the football. But what's going in my mind, I'm going to see if I can get the clip, but what's going in my mind is, fuck, these guys are marching. They're marching. Lamar Jackson is doing his best impression of a freaking Josh Allen, is rolling right, going across his body. I'm like, that's a Josh move. Don't steal Josh's moves, and we're falling for it. We should know better. Marching. They score the touchdown. You're like, oh, all right, this is it. They either got to do it or they're not doing it. And when I saw Mark Andrews wide open and I see Lamar just running, he's like, okay, now I can throw it. And I was like, oh, okay, they just tied the game. Oh, they didn't tie the game. He dropped it. We're high-fiving. We're having a good time. I said, this is it. But then I'm thinking, hold on, there's still a lot of time left. But
exactly.
Their timeouts, they have one timeout left. We can't screw this up. Here comes old reliable Ty Johnson. Ty Johnson scampers for a nice 13-yard run. That's it. Call it a day. C'est la vie. We're out of here. But my reaction was, oh, yes. So, I mean, I don't know how you would kind of express yourself and recreate that for us, but that's exactly how I felt in that moment, where I was down and then right back up again and ready to dance and groove right onto the computer screen. What were you thinking? I'll go prior to that, when the Ravens are marching. They're marching to actually take this score.
Well, good thing we don't have many cameras at the bot's parents' household, because my immediate reaction, just to give you another example, after the Bernard forced fumble, my immediate reaction was to take my shirt off and pace around the kitchen 75 different times. That's what I immediately did. I mean, this is why I told you, Rico, I watch these games in closed environments because of moments like that. I need to be in a safe space because if I'm at a bar or something, I mean, I'm gonna be TikTok viral within 30 seconds for all the wrong reasons. I can't be taking my shirt off at the bar, walking around like a maniac.
Right.
Now, when that drive started, Rico, I texted my buddies. I said, live bet Ravens touchdown right now. There wasn't a doubt in my mind. I have seen this movie far too many times.
Yes.
I would bet any amount of money the Ravens were going down and scoring a TD. You want to know what I added to that? I said, while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and live bet Mark Andrews to score? Because that would be the most Billsian thing that would ever happen.
Buddy.
You force the Mark Andrews fumble just for him to go down and tie the ball game. That's why when he dropped it, there was one word that popped into my mind. And whether it comes to fruition next week and 2 weeks after that or not, we won't know until we know. But the word destiny came to my mind.
Hey,
because in every other reality, Mark Andrews goes and avenges the fumble and scores there, and the Ravens somehow win. He dropped it. And I couldn't believe it. When he dropped it, I was so stunned I didn't even know what to do with myself. But you brought up a situation that I immediately went to too.
What's that?
I hope Chiefs fans know how much 13 seconds has ruined my life. And it has ruined my mental capacity. It has ruined the way I think.
Talk about it.
I got my dad's getting phone calls from buddies. I got my buddies blowing up my inbox. Wow. Hopefully you guys get over the hump next week. Chiefs up next, baby. It's your year. And I'm responding saying, are you out of your damn mind? There's a minute and a half left. There's an onside kick coming up.
Yep.
The Ravens got a timeout. And if the Bills don't get a first down, how many seconds would be left on the clock? Probably anywhere from 20 to 13 seconds, something like that. You just said it. For starters, when Justin Tucker kicked that onside kick, you're immediately waiting for something bad to happen, and they get it. But when Ty Johnson, Rico, ran for that first down with ease, I pretty much fell to the floor. I was expecting, Rico, the Bills to run it 3 times, not get a first down, have to punt, and then have to pace another insane 13-second scenario at the end to get out of there alive. The fact that it ended with an Allen knee, Rico, pretty much brought a tear to my eye because I just anticipated it ending in a much more dramatic fashion. I sit here now in the same way I sat here when he dropped it. I can't believe he dropped it. They just replayed it on Sports Center here. I mean, Rico, Mark Andrews will go down
too, right?
What's up?
Your reaction, your dad's reaction with this all happening. Go ahead. I want to hear this.
Just literally had our breath taken away. I mean, I just saw the replay. Mark Andrews, since I've been alive, he's got to be a top 15 tight end. You'll never have an easier play. Mark Andrews makes that catch 99 out of 100 times, and he dropped it tonight.
Tough.
And I just watched it again. I mean, Lamar, he was throwing it to him like you would throw it to your son, Rico. He was throwing it to him like you would throw a little Nerf football to your son while you're hanging out in the living room. I can't believe he didn't catch it. That's why whether they win or not is one thing, but that's why the word destiny popped into my mind, because on what planet does he drop that football? I don't know.
It doesn't. And I'll tell you right now. So I can't tell you, I can't give you video of what I was going through, but still shots kind of give you a kind of a visual of what's taking place. So that play is happening. Here we are.
My God.
My man is like, yo, he caught it. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a damn minute. Wait a second now. And this is us looking at it.
Oh my God. Yeah. Did Jenna get on this while we're live?
Listen, she was videoing us from the bottom of the basement. And I was like, this is it. And she took a still shot. And then this was us at the end. You got one guy saying, wait a second. He dropped it. My man was like, oh no, we're going into overtime. And these still shots. This is a Bills fan. These are what Bills fans have to freaking go through every single time when these guys play. It's just like you can't sit and relax and just chill out. I mean, we've had some great games this year where we could just say, yo, we just put up 30 points. Man, Jaguars, man, go sit your ass down somewhere. But now these are playoffs, man. Everything matters. Everything's on the table, right? We're all in on this thing. And we're one game away. 1 game away.
Bro, there's a picture of me. There's a picture of me after it happened that I have. It's so embarrassing that I can't even share it. That's how bad it is.
From today?
Yes, of after that play. There's a picture my mom snapped. I don't know why she took it.
Share it, you son of a bee.
I got it. I got it, bro.
Share that thing, man. You can't tell us about it, not share it. What the heck?
Well, yeah, I know. I don't even know why I brought it up. I'm going to regret it instantly. In fact, I sent it to my mom, sent it to Caroline, and Caroline, I knew she'd hate it. But let me share the good first. Let me share the good picture first. Because you want to know what? Want to know what it's all about?
What is it all about?
It's all about this right here. That was the immediate result after Allen takes a knee. That's what it's all about right there. Right there. But
father and son.
Would it not be a Rico and Botch? So
embrace.
you shared your embarrassing photo, so I got to share mine because this is, bro, I look like a, I'm trying to, what's the best way I can describe it? I look like a psychotic Spider-Man in this photo. Okay.
Love it.
Is the best.
And by the way, before Bot shares it, everybody get ready to screenshot and then have that go viral.
Exactly. Exactly right. You ready for this? This was me.
Let's go.
This was me when Mark Andrews dropped the football.
He's ready to go. He's got no socks on, 3/4 pants. He's ready to go. Hat off. Yo, he's off. Listen, I like this. That's the great shot. That's cold.
Dude, it brought me to my knees. I'm laser focused. I'm dialed in. I got no socks on. I'm just kneeled down and I'm like, there's no, dude, it literally brought me to my knees, bro.
The fact that you're sockless and and in a squat. I don't know what you want to call that. The frog position, bro. I feel you. My man says, screenshot it. Got it. Got him. Listen, you see it. You got one Bills fan pointing at the screen saying, wait a second. One Bills fan's like, golly, not again. And then you got Spider Frog over here. It's just ready to pounce. Bro, this is what Bills fandom it makes you do. It just makes you do crazy things. And what the beautiful thing about it all is it all ends in us dancing, smiling. Ravens fans are sick right now. I had one of my boys is a Ravens fan. He calls me, he goes, hey, spicy game, isn't it? I was like, too spicy for my liking. And we're up. The Bills are up. Too spicy for my liking. Boy, did he ever feel good when at the week 4, man, yo, the Ravens are fine. We're different this year, man. We got an offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Lamar Jackson's doing it. Hey, and Lamar Jackson was doing it. You absolutely was. You can't even take away what Lamar Jackson did this year. Phenomenal year. And he's still one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch in this game. And I think we both lament on how great he has been. And what a great professional. There was no like sore losership. I don't know if that's even a word, but sore losership when him and Josh dapped it up. He was all pretty much like, yo, go get it, man. Good game. And go have it. There's some guys that just are sore losers. They don't even shake hands. They just leave.
Well, don't you remember when the Bills beat the Chiefs and it was because the Chiefs were offsides on the pitch play? And Mahomes went right up to Allen. He's like, I can't believe they're calling that play, man. Like,
that was horseshit. I hated that.
Remember?
It's whining like a little bee. And that's and moments like that is what makes fan bases dislike guys like Pat Mahomes, right? For moments like this, you'll never see Josh give you one of those. He'll be pissed internally, give you the daps, share a few words, and then he's on his way. And then we'll get him next year. You know what I mean? But not this time. Not this time. It wasn't in the cards for the Bills. On to the next game.
You know, Bada Bing Crosby's bringing up a great example too. As bad as the ref performance was in that game, man, they did a lot of chatting about the refs for a team that got sacked. What was it, 9 times and put up 14 points?
8 sacks.
I'll tell you what, Rico. If the Bills were in the identical situation of the Texans yesterday, McDermott and Allen ain't bringing up the refs. It's just not happening.
I'll tell you this, but those refs were abysmal that game.
Oh, no one's saying they were.
I know you're part of that crew that says you're still allowed 18 points or 15 points. Bro, those 2 stupid play calls were on 3rd down crucial moments where you got to punt after this. So they meant a lot in that game. Now, your O-line got a block. I mean, you can't get sacked 8 times. But if you look at the score, what is it, within 8 points, 9 points? So well within shot. So those two third down moments where two players hit each other, you call that for my man. He gets hit in the chest a little bit. He flops and you call that, bro. I'd be cheesed. Now, you're absolutely right, though. Josh Allen, take it on the chin and say, hey, we didn't do enough on our end to make it happen. We can't sit here and blame the refs. Sucks. What are you going to do about it? We'll move on to the next. I absolutely 1,000% agree with you. But those two calls were crucial.
I went on a whole rant about it last night.
I know. I saw the rant. And you made valid points. You're right, though, because at the end of the day, you still got to compete. You're still within the game to try to make some plays happen. And you didn't. You couldn't get it done.
Well, to me, it's more of a systemic issue than it is a Chiefs issue. I mean, that's my biggest problem with it. Is I think it's a league-wide. I mean, you and I have had. We literally sat on here one night for like 2 hours and brainstormed different solutions for it. I mean, the problem I have now, Rico, is it's January. Like, this shit cannot come down to 15-yard flags. It just can't. And I had a lot of Chiefs fans agreeing with me in the fact that they more than anybody want that out of the game so that they can win these games without people saying they won it because of the stripes.
Yeah.
Because the Chiefs were winning that game regardless, but wouldn't you rather win it with everybody knowing you won it?
Facts.
You won it wholeheartedly as opposed to winning it without some outside force that you get accused of. Yeah, I mean, I think we were all in agreement that there's definitely something that needs to be done. Whether it's done or not, I doubt. But I could give a damn about that right now, Rico. I'll tell you what.
I could give a damn right now because I'm feeling good right now. I was just reading a message from one of my Ravens friends, and he sent me a message. I just read it now, so I'm gonna try to show y'all the screenshot of what he just sent me. Because I mean, these guys are, you know how we get. When someone doesn't play well, caught him. He doesn't deserve to be on this team. We start to say some wild stuff, right? And it happens because you're in the moment. You're in the moment. By the way, I keep looking at that picture of you in that frog position. Absolutely wild.
Yeah, bro. Absolutely wild. If you want a perfect representation of what this fan does to me, it would be that right there.
It absolutely is. So my man hits me up and says, yo, Andrews should be cut.
Here we go.
Likely been the guy. He's like, Isaiah likely has been the guy since Andrews got injured. That's not his first drop of the day either. And those are moments where you have to say he's right, because there were some other moments that Andrews did make some drops in that game. But he was also one of the better receivers in the game as well. And you can't hate on that because he's been that guy for that team all year round, right? He did get banged up a little bit. Isaiah likely seems to be the new tight end that's going to take over. But sometimes it's just not in the cards. Sometimes it's just not in the cards for the Ravens. It felt like it was, just like in 2020. It really felt like that was the Bills' year, didn't it? We had the roster, so we thought. We had everything in place, but we lost because of freaking 13 seconds. So we all felt destined to be the team to go. And I truly feel that had we beat that 13-second Chiefs game, we were winning the whole thing. I don't give a damn if Joe Burrow was on the other squad. We would have whooped Joe Burrow's ass too, and then we would have went to the Super Bowl and beat the Rams. Promise you that. But it wasn't in the cards. It certainly wasn't in the cards. But this time, it might be. It might be.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this right here?
Bot is kind of built like a gorilla. Bills fan. Oh, I guess in that pose he's talking. Yo, that's wild. Yo, Bills fan, what you saying, bro?
Dude, they had me feeling like a gorilla. Like I felt like my brain had resorted from a human level to a gorilla level where I was.
So when you're in that pose, what's your pops doing? Is he in the same somewhere else? Are we both in?
If you think I had the wherewithal to look around the room at that point, I think he just faded into the ground. My mom, I think, passed out. I think my mom literally, yeah.
You know what though? I ain't gonna cap. That's a funny picture. That's a funny picture. But that's what these Bills games, they have us doing wild stuff, bro.
I'll tell you what, hey Rico, the next time our fandom gets put in question or whether or not we care, I guess I can flash that photo up.
Right,
there.
you can flash them this one. You can flash them this one. You know what I mean? Like it's a contrast. There's a contrast of looking at two fans go at it. It's
go
wild.
To the one before that. Go to the one before that.
You know what I mean? You got the hug. You got this one here.
See, look at that. You are locked in,
all the way,
bro.
All the way in. We don't play games, man. And then there's this. So I mean, shoot. Listen, it's the way things. That's just being a Bills fan. That's just being a Bills fan. That's just being a Bills fan. You just got to deal with it. It's just what it is. By the way, that should be your new profile pic.
Dude, Caroline hates it. In fact, all of her friends were asking for her to send it. And she's like, I'm not going to send it. I'm not going to send it because everybody knows how insane I am. So now it's out there for everybody.
Christmas card next year, bro. That's what it's got to be. But I will say this though, although this game had their downs, but way more ups. I will say this though, losing Taylor Rapp, I wonder how much that's going to play a part.
Well, I'll tell you this. The silver lining to that point is the fact that Teron Johnson went back in. Rico, did you not see that and think, oh, win or lose, he's out? I mean, the fact he went back into the game, I couldn't believe, Rico, but you're right. Is there an update on Rapp? We've been live since the game ended. Is there anything on your end that you've seen or no?
Sorry, say it again.
I said we've been live since the game ended. Is there anything you've seen on Rapp?
On Rapp? No, I haven't. Well, I was trying to see what our guy Thigh Doc had to say because he's usually on it pretty quickly. I'm gonna just double check if he jumped in on there, but I'm not saying I'm indifferent on Thigh because on Taylor Rapp being injured because I like his physicality, I like his presence, but I also like the emerging presence of Cole Bishop, young player getting playoff experience. I like his size. He can stay with guys like Travis Kelsey next week. So maybe this was, I don't want to call it a blessing per se, but this is not I'm not saying going, oh man, I can't believe this happened. So I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. Based on injury update from Taylor Rapp, it says it's a hip. And he's downgraded out. So I don't know. Hip mobility, you got to warm it up. Are you going to be able to run naturally the way you naturally do? I don't know if he's going to be in for next week, man.
Yo, chat, let us know, by the way, if you've seen anything, let us know. I mean, I feel like we won't know, but it's not good, Rico, when you take the card off and you got to get x-rays mid-game.
Yeah, that's messed up. So it doesn't look good. But the fact of the matter is this: we got Taron Johnson back in the game. That was huge.
Huge.
Do we see Micah Hyde get activated next week?
That's where my mind went.
But they got what, Eddie Jackson? Is it Eddie Jackson we have or whoever? I forgot who we have. So they might upgrade him. But you never know. They might say, you know what? Micah Hyde, let's go. Let's go. Why not? Doesn't this play out to be this way? Doesn't it play out to be this way?
Dude, it's playing out in a way I couldn't have fathomed. I mean, I'm freaking out. I honestly, I am in a state of euphoria right now. I mean, honestly, I just wanted to get back there and have I just wanted to get back. And I said this before the game. This was a legacy game for both of these quarterbacks, win or lose. Like, even no matter, I'm not gearing up for a letdown because I really do think this is the best chance the Bills have had. And I know I've said that before, but how could you not think that this way? But man, this game right here, this is why I want to enjoy it for a while because it just felt like a legacy game for both these guys, man. And the Bills got out on top. And in my lifetime, when it's come down to these legacy defining games, these big games, they've been on the wrong side of it. And the way it played out tonight, man, I mean, if you go look at the box score, Rico, this is what's killing me. If I were to tell you post game that the Ravens had over nearly 150 additional yards than the Bills, they had well over 100 additional passing yards. They had more rushing yards. They had 3 more yards per play. They had more first downs. They were better on third down. I mean, Rico, you would have thought they lost the game. No question about it. It's just the ability to win the game in a style that we are so used to them losing has got me feeling, it's got me feeling nicey, in the words of my man, John Gruden.
Listen, Johnny Gruden. I mean, listen, there's a whole lot of things that you want to reflect on after this game, but those injuries are definitely going to be one that you want to pay attention to. So pay attention to that part to see what happens at that safety room. Taron Johnson is I know he came back in the game. What did he do? Was it just like did he dislocate his shoulder and pop back in? I don't know what the hell how it happened. I thought he was done for sure. He came back in. So we'll see how it all shakes out. Maybe Micah Hyde makes an appearance. Maybe they wait for him to make an appearance in the Super Bowl. Who knows? We'll see how it all shakes out. But listen, altogether, this game was fantastic. It was just nice to Nice to get a win, divisional win on top of that, right? It sucks. One guy had to lose. I'm glad that it wasn't our guys. We get to keep going. And Josh being able to lead us to where we are right now. I mean, Nate Burleson said Josh may not have had a huge statistical game, but he says he played flawless. That brother played flawless. And that's what's being said right now. He may not have had gaudy games, but he made the right plays, the right time, everything that needed to do it. He got it done. And speaking of conversations and what I'm being heard, so Stephen A. Smith is on here talking about this is not on Lamar Jackson. He did his job. Unfortunately, the great Mark Andrews, who hasn't lost a fumble since 2019 and doesn't drop passes, got stripped for a fumble, then dropped a 2-point conversion. That would have tied the game with under 2 minutes left to go. Tragic. First of all, there was 2 minutes left to go. That's number one. So you may have left too much time for Josh Allen. So we all don't know how that all plays out, but that's another thing. But Vince Young comes back and says, hey, stop it. If Josh threw a pick and a fumble, putting his team behind, no matter how he played and came up short, you would say he didn't get it done. Sick of you hypocrites. Golly, Vince Young. I don't know if it's the Vince Young that I think it is. It certainly is not. It's somebody else, but it is true. If it were Josh Allen that got in that position, y'all would have ate Josh Allen up. Y'all would have said he's not cut out to play with the big dogs. He's lost to Pat Mahomes. He's lost to Joe Burrow. And now looky here. He's lost to Lamar Jackson. So you can't use that excuse. It's over and done with, but I love it. I do have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
So I'll use the Chargers game. I would have much preferred the Chargers beat the Texans because I think they would have gave the Chiefs a better match than what the Texans gave the Chiefs.
100%.
So in this way, us beating, at least you could say, oh man, the Texans won that game. Man, now they're going to get their asses beat next week. And we knew it was going to happen because we knew the Chiefs would have been, they're just not matched. Chargers match up much better with the Chiefs than the Texans do. Us beating the Ravens, do you think people are going to be like, that matchup would have been so much better for the Ravens going up against the Chiefs instead of the Bills going up against the Chiefs? Do you think people are talking that way? Or are they saying, the right team won because the Bills match up way better for the Chiefs and they can probably take down the Chiefs and head to the Super Bowl? What are your thoughts on that? Having either team go against the Chiefs?
The Bills have been built to beat the Chiefs. Of course, they match up better with the Chiefs. The entire Bills organization has been built the last 3 years to try and beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Plus, last time I checked, and not putting a whole lot of stake in what happens in the regular season, just like I didn't put a whole lot of stake in what happened in the Bills-Ravens game week 4, you can't overestimate the fact that the Bills handed these Chiefs their only legitimate loss since Christmas of 2023. I mean, that's a fact.
Yep.
And they did it by scoring 30 points, which no team had done on them in like 2 years. And let's be honest, this makes it official. Mahomes Allen is the new Brady Manning. It just is. There's not a soul on the planet who doesn't want to watch Bills Chiefs for a right to go to the Super Bowl. And there's not a soul on the planet outside of the Kansas City area who doesn't want to see the Bills beat them. Either way, we were in store for a hell of a championship Sunday. You got an NFC East showdown with Jaden Daniels putting together the best rookie year we've ever seen. And you would have been guaranteed one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the league taking on the best quarterback in the league. This is everything we could have possibly hoped for, not because we're begging to play the Chiefs, but because we have always wanted another crack, win or lose. We're not shying away from it. I mean, this is what it's all about. The biggest stage. But this time, Rico, unlike the last couple of years in the divisional, this time around, it's for the damn right to go to the bowl. And the last time the Bills were at Rico, I'm about to lose my shit. It's really just hitting me right now that this game's for the bowl.
Talk about it.
Rico, I got to calm down.
No, you don't.
But with that said,
man. Get excited.
Last time these Bills played in this game, they were not ready to take on the Chiefs. They were not good enough to beat them. And the Bills haven't been back in that spot since. it's hitting me like a ton of bricks right now. The fact that next week's for the Super Bowl. This is what makes it so much different. Win or lose, Rico, the fact that, first of all, how great does it feel to know the Bills are playing next week? I mean, does it not feel so damn good?
Let me tell you, after the game, like, it's hitting you now. It hit me when Josh Allen's running to the locker room and he's talking to, I was about to say Susan Colbert.
Yeah.
I don't know who I said Susan Colbert.
Anyway. She's from Caroline's hometown, which is like an insanely small town, by the way.
Good for her. She made it, man. Good for her.
Quick,
I'm sitting here going, man, I'm high-fiving my mans, and I'm like, all right, yo, we did this shit. And it sat with me, and I was like, wait a second. Bro, we're going to the AFC Championship game.
Right.
That has eluded us for freaking 4 years. The AFC Championship game, I sat there and was like, whoa, we're one more game. One more. And it's a shame that Diggs couldn't be there, because that epic photo of him standing there going, one of these days I'll be back there. And the fact that we are back in the freaking game and about to avenge what took place in 2020, bam. That's what makes you say, bro, one more game. One more freaking game. Let's go, man. On the road on top of that, yo, let us wear our white on whites, man. Bring the white on whites as well.
Oh, we got to.
Let us wear the white on whites. Y'all wear your red and whites. We'll bring the white on whites. Let's roll, man.
You know what happened the last time that uniform combo went down? It was one of the greatest playoff games in NFL history. Gotcha. I said to my mom prior, I said, above anything else, the nerves of the game, the nerves really stem from, in my opinion, Rico, the idea that if you win, you get another week of Bills ball. And if you lose, it's just over. And the idea of having a whole nother week to get excited about this opportunity, I can't over quantify how much that means to you as a diehard fan. Regardless of what happens, the ability to continue your season longer than 28 other teams is a hell of a feeling. And doesn't it just feel like this has been one of the greatest rivalries in the sport, even though we are only 7 years or 8 years into the experiment of it, or 7 years? This is what it's all about. This is what the sport is all about. The best going at it on the biggest stage. Yep. The last 2 years, these two have duked it out in two of the better playoff games in recent memory in the divisional round. But this time, Rico, the winner gets to go. And think about how much is on the line here. Bills win. They go to their first Super Bowl in my lifetime. They go to their first Super Bowl since what, 1994?
94, baby. 93, 94.
The Chiefs win. They go and have the ability to pull off what has never been done in NFL history. So two things could happen here.
Big storylines.
Either the Chiefs win their third straight, never been done in NFL history, or the Bills get a chance to win their first ever. Of course, obviously never been done in NFL history. Meanwhile, the other storyline here, which I find to be low key that no one's obviously talked about yet because this is fresh. If the Bills win, they will either take on the Commanders, which would be a rematch of one of the Super Bowls the Bills had in the 90s, or even more crazy, Rico, even more crazy. You ready for this? If the Bills win and the Eagles win, the Bills will have then played every team in the NFC East in the Super Bowl and nobody else. They played the Cowboys twice, Washington, and the Giants. Only team they haven't played in the bowl out of the NFC East.
Dude, that's jacked.
How crazy is that?
And this would be the time to put the X on losing to the NFC East. This is it. We can't lose to the whole freaking division, for crying out loud, and have a fifth Super Bowl loss. Bro, can't. This is it. We got to make it work. We got to make it happen, baby. We got to make it happen.
Meanwhile, if the Eagles win, of course, and the Chiefs win, just putting it out there, that's a rematch of any that. How crazy would this be? That would mean the Chiefs have played the Niners twice in the Super Bowl and the Eagles twice in the Super Bowl. And obviously the Eagles, of course, want to avenge what happened to them the last time. And that was an amazing Super Bowl. So, man, you got storylines galore here. Not to mention if somehow Jaden Daniels pulls it off, we're already looking at the best rookie season I think we've ever seen. You imagine this kid getting to the damn Super Bowl? I mean, Next weekend, Rico, it is going to be cinematic, Christopher Nolan style film.
Watch out now. You better watch out. Listen, I got a question for you, all right?
Yeah.
Who do you put the loss on? Respectfully, if you were to pick someone, and it sucks to pick someone, but who would you put the loss on if you were to pick someone on this Ravens team?
Man, that's a great question. Let me break it down into a pie. Let's break it down to like a pie chart.
Why not? Let's do that.
I'm going to go. Man, I think it would be wrong not to. I'm going to go 40%. Man, no, you know what? No. I'm going to go 50% Mark Andrews here. Dude, you got a layup in your hands to tie that football game. And the way it was going, the momentum of the second half was on your side. And we've seen what happens when the Bills go into overtime without the momentum. I think you'd be remiss to not put half the blame of that on Mark Andrews. You got one of the easiest plays you'll ever have in your career, separating you from taking that game to overtime when you were down by 11 at half, and he didn't make it. I will give 40%, 35 to 40% of the blame to Lamar, because that first half, listen, the game's 60 minutes, and you played a pretty inadequate 30 minutes based on the MVP standard set for you. Mm-hmm. Let's be honest. All year long, every one of your fans have been banging down the door that you're the MVP over the guy on the other sideline, and you did less than he did tonight. Not that Allen performed exceptionally well, but he didn't make the mistakes that you did. And because of that, I think we see the scoreboard indicate what the game wound up resulting in. And then
go ahead.
And I gotta give 10% of the blame, I think, to probably a collective effort of the Ravens offensive line and their inability, in my opinion, to kind of get up to the standard in which they have set for themselves throughout the pace of the year here, where it just felt like outside of the third quarter, there really wasn't a whole lot of room to maneuver for Derrick Henry. And, the way that they want to play, they like to dominate in the trenches. They allowed the Bills to get after Lamar tonight more than we've seen pretty much all year. And they really allowed the defensive line of the Buffalo Bills to kind of take Derrick Henry out of the game for 3 quarters.
So here's the deal. My man, 50% blame on a player that only accounts for 1/3 of the turnovers, while Lamar accounts for the other 2/3. You sounded like a Lamar fan Z-bot. That's not the point I brought this up, but here's the reason. Because I'm going to call you a loser.
Let me respond real quick to Lamar. You got a point? Do it. Well, I just want to say real quick to Walt, the only reason you got to think about it in terms of the moment of the game. If Andrews catches that ball, Lamar is going to be viewed as a hero tomorrow night or tomorrow morning on every radio show and television show for making that comeback in the second half. That's where I give less blame to Lamar, because when the moment was the biggest, Lamar led him down the field and had that game tied up if he didn't drop it. That's where I got to give Andrews more blame than Lamar, in my opinion.
And don't forget, Andrews fumbled.
Yeah, also,
that was a second drop pass in that game. Correct. So let me put it this way, because I asked you that question because you're a loser if you know that, right? I need you to know you're a loser if you think that it was on Lamar or Andrews, because according to Dan Orlovsky, if you put the loss on Lamar tonight, respectfully, you're a loser.
Okay.
Mark Andrews is one of the all-time Ravens. He had a brutal drop and fumble, yes. If you're going to use that to trash him, respectfully, you're a loser. So Dan Orlovsky is calling you a loser. I don't know how else you can look at this. I mean, listen, somebody's got to take the L.
Exactly.
You can't just lose the game, but everybody played honky-dory. Bro, the Bills played an amazing game against the Chiefs, but we lost. So somebody had to wear the L. So you can't say, respectfully, this is where people get pissed off with Dan Orlovsky, where nobody can take an L. Everybody's honky-dory. Bro, you got to take the L. You got 2 turnovers coming from Lamar Jackson, an ill-advised stupid throw that he made. We're like, what the hell was that? Because Josh has made those throws before. We're like, what the hell was that, Josh? The fuck was that? So same thing goes for our guy, Lamar Jackson. And then you got Andrews that fumbles the football in a crucial moment when you're driving with 8 minutes on the clock, and then you got to wear the L. Respectfully, I'm not going to, Dan Orlovsky, he's got to wear the L. You can't be the nice guy all the time. I'm sorry, but that's just what it is. So,
no, Rico, you nailed it. I really like Dan Orlovsky a lot, but this is Dan. If I had Dan in the room with me, this is what I'd say to him. Dan, you're on First Take all the time on ESPN. All you guys do is sit around and post blame on guys and defend one guy over another guy. All we ever do is dissect these games based on level of blame. And if you got as good of a tight end as you're telling me he is, and we all know that he is, a crucial fumble that was the biggest play of the game, a big drop early in the game, and the biggest drop of his lifetime, sorry, I think Mark Andrews would be the first to tell you that he probably deserves the majority of the blame. So I have to respectfully disagree with Dan there.
Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, nobody wants to wear the L. Nobody does. But now they have to take that L and turn it into a lesson for next year. The same way the Bills had to do it in 2020, 21, 22, 23. Bro, we've been taking our L's, but we finally put it together and it sucks. But sometimes, I mean, listen, somebody mentioned here, Peyton Manning took him 9 years to get his first. All right. So we're pushing to it. We're trying to get there. We got one more game to go. It's going to be a tough game against these Chiefs. It's just going to be fun. We're going to enjoy it today. But we got a whole lot of super chats.
Yeah, we do.
We got a whole lot of super chats to read, so we're going to get right to it. And we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Do us a favor. If you have not, done two things. If you haven't followed us on social media platforms, go ahead and follow my guy Zbot at Zbot Tweets. Go ahead and follow me at Rico_BF_. And go and follow the Buffalo Fanatics. If you're new to the channel, Buffalo Fanatics on Twitter, Instagram, the whole shebang. And by the way, shout out to those that thought they lost TikTok and it's back again. I don't know what the hell happened. You had people going for a frenzy. It's back. Here we go. Super chat number 1. Mitch Lobster, the lead Robster. What's up, Mitch? Money Mitch in the house. He goes, let's go, boys. I respect Lamar for what he's done for the QB position, but I've always doubted him in the playoffs. Not trying to hate, but history shows he shrinks worse than Diggs. Speaking of, you sure, Stefan? BF is the best YouTube channel, baby. Get it. Here's what I got to say about this. We were just talking about Lamar and how Lamar, I mean, he essentially willed his team back, right? No different than what Josh was able to do. And then not on Josh. Josh did his job. Lamar did his job, although he had some turnovers in that game, but he did his job enough to give his team an opportunity to tie the game and get going. It didn't pan out. But at the end of the day, it does fall on the quarterback. It falls on some of the executions they missed on. But what I love about this comment from a man, Led Roster, by the way, $50 is no slouch. Thank you for that. That's big. What's big on this is we did this without those big names. Diggs, Davis, Poyer. Hyde is on the squad, but he ain't playing, right? We lost leadership on the offensive line. Bro, and we're in the AFC Championship game. I saw a tweet from was our former linebacker. It's eluding me right now. He played for the Jets, played for Miami. We drafted him when Rex Ryan was on the squad. Linebacker, edge player. It's not coming to me in the chat. Somebody will let me know.
Blake and bad.
You are blinking. You guys know what I'm talking about. He says, "Man, this win makes me feel like I'm part of this win because he's played for the squad so many times. It makes me feel like I'm part of this." That's how much people love this Bills team and happy with this Bills team. Not Kiko Alonso, black man. He played for Miami, and then he. See, why am I not getting it? He got drafted 13 overall. Was it 13 overall or in the second round, first round?
Oh, Shaq Lawson.
Golly, man. Shaq Lawson was like, I'm so happy with this team. I feel like I won in this game. That's how much the Bills have so much love coming from their way. So love to see it. Love to see it. By the way, GQ Bob, what up, GQ? Send some love. Appreciate you. 444 Block says, yo, snatch that chain. Hey, Rico, say it with your chest. We snatched that thing off of them, man. That's it. Give me that. We deboed them. Give me that stuff, bro. What do we got? We got, what's that say there?
Save a whale, ride a running back.
There you go. That's it. I was like, what the heck? What's save a whale, ride a running back saying?
Let's effing go. I love the way the Bills game plan against the Ravens slowed and even had several tackles for losses. Yeah, there was a point in time where they flashed the graphic. They were up to 7 tackles for losses in that game at one point. I don't know what they finished with, but it was at least 7, which is probably more than you would have guessed. So hyped, and let's go BF as well. Go ahead and hit that button for Save the Well, baby. Love it.
Love to see it. What do we got? Signified
Oh,
knows.
Signified is pumped.
He's jacked up. He says, hey, man. Hey, Ravens fans, eat a pile of doo-doo. Go Bills, man. That's simple as that, man. Yo, go eat a pile of doo-doo, man. That's all we got to say to you, man. Signified knows. Hey, Signified knows comes back again and says, yo, my heart rate got as high as 185 BPM on the last play according to my watch. Godly, that's high. Yo,
I bet you mine was up there, if not worse. I'm telling you right now.
Dude,
when I was in that gorilla stance, I bet you my BPM was probably 220.
It was freaking crazy. I'm sure it was that pretty high, man. Save a Whale says, hey, 6 All-Pros versus 1 All-Pro. Defense played great, had several tackles for losses. Let's freaking go, man. Let's freaking go. This is exactly right, man.
I'm so glad he brought that up. It's a point I wanted to make earlier. This felt like this was the best version the Ravens could put out on the field. In all seriousness, this was supposed to be a soft reboot year for the Bills. And they just beat the MVP and the 6 All-Pros with 1 second-team All-Pro. That's the other thing that's impressive here. So when you want to throw out that the Bills got lucky, when you want to throw out that Allen didn't play great, well, the team that had the 6 All-Pros and the MVP should have been able to overcome that performance then, right? They didn't. And that's the thing that's impressive to me here.
I like it. I'm actually glad that was brought up because it makes all the difference. And all these All-Pros and Pro Bowls and all that stuff, that matters, man. Because these guys look at it and be like, all right, well, they didn't see us as good enough to be recognized by our peers. So let's go show them and win this whole thing. I love it. Love every bit of it. Jay Money, appreciate you with that big super chat. He says, yo, let's effing go, fellas. MVP 17 all day. Give me the buzzer, Rico. I got you. Nobody picked us to win. KC, here we come. And he's right, man. These boys are going to enjoy this game tonight. And tomorrow they're gonna get better and look at each other like, yo, one more game, fellas. One more game. Let's lock in. Let's lock all the way in. I wonder how KC's feeling. KC's probably like, all right, boys, Buffalo's coming to town. Let's go.
I mean, they got to be feeling, even though we haven't won one of these, Rico, yet, they got to be feeling like we're feeling. It's like, man, bring on the show. We know we're about to get treated to an absolute classic because that's what happens every time these two match up.
Oh, man, it's gonna be freaking fun, man. Lewis comes in and says, defense came through with the toughest assignment, point blank, period. Nah, that's a great point, man. They did. This was a tough assignment.
Oh, yeah.
This was a very tough assignment, man, because everyone had us pretty much not doing well. Derrick Henry, if he goes off, it's over with. Then you got to contend for Lamar's legs. So Derrick Henry, Lamar's legs, and Isaiah Likely, Rashad Bateman, all that bullshit. No, it's over with, bro. That's why you play to win the game, right? Every game there's a game within a game. And this is what I love about football. Football is complex that way. There's a game within a game. And that game within a game is DB versus DB. Linebacker spying Lamar. That's a whole nother game in the game. So Lamar, I'm sure, wanted to do a whole lot of things, but he understood, yo, they're going to spy me all day. So I got to stay in the pocket because the minute I'm out, that's it. Lamar had a big run. I think it was his longest run. And the longest run that Lamar had, I can tell you right now, real quick, because it was crucial.
Probably like what, 12, 13 yards?
I'll tell you, it was his longest run. It was a 16-yard run.
Okay.
And that 16-yard run came because Milano just mistimed it, and he got caught in the wash. Yeah. And then my man took off 16 yards. That was it. There was none of that again. Milano locked in, was like, nah, bro, where you go, I go. And I got enough speed, and I got enough awareness to know what you want to do. Problem is, some of the guys didn't really fulfill their needs on the back end, but that's okay. We did enough plays to get the job done to us.
And you know what, by the way, remember you and I were having a conversation, like, is there an idea of maybe letting Dorian Williams keep his hot streak going or whatever? Bro, Matt Milano balled out tonight.
Give it to him. Give it to him.
Matt
Milano, how many tackles was he in on?
I don't know, man. My man was bouncing around like a freaking ping pong ball tonight.
Matt Milano, three total tackles today, 1 solo. But what was crucial, he had 3 QB hits. And in total, we had 5 QB hits altogether. Matt Milano, 3 of them. Put it on, babe. That's what I say. Jesse Snow, $10 super chat. I appreciate you, Jesse. Jesse comes in and says, man, those MVP chants from our crowd were awesome. The win feels so good after all that trash talk this week. Let's go, Rico and Bot. Hit that horn. I absolutely love when people ask for the horn, by the way. I freaking love it. Love it.
Let me just remind people, by the way, We
What's
got
that one?
4,300 of you in here right now. 4,300. Let me remind each and every one of you.
Go ahead.
Bills are going to the AFC Championship next week. I can't get over it. It's really just sinking into me, Rico. Unbelievable.
Love it, love it, love it, love it. We got J Money in the house. Says, yo, damn Z-Bot. Dudes, hold on. What am I reading here? You can take that over. I don't know.
Damn Z-Bot does not take a damn breath on that rant. You go, Z-Bot.
I'm gonna tell you something. There's an art. There's an absolute art that it takes to be able to make your point long enough that you get everything in it, get all the emotion out of it. And I'll tell you, you're one of the best that I know that does it. There's a lot of guys that can rant and go on a good rant. Bro, you're on the money. When you rant, let you cook. Let my man get in the kitchen and do what he does. I don't say a peep. I just say, go ahead, bro. Cook that thing, bro. You got it, boy. So
I got to measure my blood pressure on one of these rants and one of these times. That's what I got to do. See what's up with that.
No, you ain't got to rant. You ain't got to measure anything, man. When your boy's cooking, man. I love it. And by the way, speaking of cooking, Too Crispy came through and says, yo, let me get Crispy and join the big squad and join the screw. Let's go. Listen, thank you for joining, folks. If you guys have not joined and become a member of the Buffalo Fanatics, go ahead and follow Too Crispy's ways. And I tell you right now, man, it's support. You guys love the brand. You don't have to, but the fact that you do, we appreciate it. Big love to Too Crispy on that thing, man. John DeFazio, what's Johnny saying?
Johnny D is saying McDermott presser, and I quote, "These fans are not losers. They are winners. Been here for 8 years, and I consider Buffalo home. Damn. We are the better team." Rico, go ahead and hit that bell for Shawnee McDermott.
We are the better team. I like that, Shawnee. Shawnee McDermott talking his ish. Listen, man, you got to give it to Sean McDermott, man. The fact that, and it makes me have to rethink things. It really does. Because sometimes we as fans and people that cover the team, we get in our emotions. We get in our vibe of like, okay, yo, you got to go. And I've been there. I'll speak for myself. I'm like, yo, if he doesn't get the job done, because we had this very conversation at the beginning of the season, and here we are, the team is going to the AFC East, and you asked me, AFC Championship game. I remember you said, Rico, what if he makes it to the AFC Championship against the Chiefs?
Oh, yeah.
Does that buy McDermott time? I sat there and said, oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. I don't even know if I answered that question, but I remember you asked me that vividly because I was like, ooh, I don't know. Like, it depends on how the season goes, but the fact that he made it and what we went through all year long, how do you move on from something like that? The team still believes in him. They still play hard for him. You got to bring him back. Shoot, I got to bite my tongue and say, yo, I'm good on my guy. He got to stick around. I mean, shoot, I'm like this though sometimes. You know what I mean? So like a typical Bills fan, but if I'm putting just the old brain and emotion out of it, it just makes sense to keep the guy that the team still believes in and plays for. And I mess with that guy, man. That's my guy, man.
I'll tell you now, you got a better chance of going and diving in your local pond, getting bit by a shark, and then struck by 2 lightning bolts than Sean McDermott losing his job next week.
Big facts.
Let me tell you something else, Rico, because we just had a new member from my man Crispy. And you want to know what my man Cass says? Let me join the damn. Let me tell you this, Rico. Let me tell you this. I bet you we got 4,300 people in the building here. I bet you 5 more people don't join as a member by the time we're done here. I'm going to make that bet with you. I bet you.
I'm going to double that bet. I'm going to say 10 people. Let me double up. We got 8 more to go. 8 more to go. Let's keep it rolling, man.
4,300 of you in here. I bet you 10 of you don't got the stones to get that member.
Don't let me lose that bet, baby. Let's go. Richie Fresh comes through and says, boys, we're going all the way. I was in tears at the he was in tears. I was in tears at the end of that game, like a baby. Just a feeling. AFC Champ game at my house if you can make it. DJ, etc. Listen, I feel you. Let me hit that for you. Because my man Richie Fresh has been saying, yo, I'm ready for y'all to come through. I'm ready for y'all. And he said, if we make it to the Super Bowl, he says, my house, he says, mi casa, su casa. So just keep that open. I even told the wife the other day, I said, I was in the car with her yesterday. I was like, hey, by the way, babe, I'm just letting you know, the Kansas City Chiefs are playing right now. If they lose and my Bills win tomorrow, I'm going to Buffalo. She turned and looked at me. She's like, yeah, I know. I was like, babe,
Hey,
that's
you
why I
gotta
love
love Jenna.
that's why I
What
love
a
you.
queen.
You
What
only got to fight me on it. You know what the deal is.
What a
So,
queen.
Kansas City, man, they handle their business, so that's what matters. But
Houston sold on our ass, man.
man, CJ Stroud, bro, great first year. Second year was a rough one for him, but that O line's got to be better. You got to get him a better O line.
Gotta be better.
Griffin Music, what's up, Griff? Griff says, "Yo, Ravens fan, y'all were better. Josh Allen for MVP. He beat Mahomes and win the whole damn thing."
Wow.
Bro.
Hey, go ahead and hit that bell for my man.
We absolutely need to beat Mahomes. Like, why not? I mean, that's what I love about sports, by the way. Whenever a team loses to another team, it's not like being bitter and salt and whatever. It's like, bro, all right, y'all beat us. Yo, go win the whole thing now.
Yeah.
Because I would feel better if when we lose to a team, like when we lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in 2020, right? And I was like, all right, that's a good squad. That's a good squad, right? And it is what it is. It is what it is at this point. When these boys keep winning and we lose to this squad, at least we lost to the championship team. So we have an opportunity to go out and handle business. Ravens are like, yo, y'all beat us. We felt like we were the team to beat. Yo, go handle the business and win the whole thing. And shit, we got to do it.
By the way, the early lines are out.
What?
Guess how much the Eagles are favored by the Commanders, and then guess the Chiefs Bills line for Sunday.
All right. So Commanders are on the road, but both games that these two guys played, it was a 36-33 win for the Commanders.
But Hurts got hurt in the middle of the game.
What's that?
Hurts got hurt in the middle of the
Hurts
game.
did get hurt. Okay.
Good
Good call. Good call. And then the first game that they had, it was an 8-point game. That was it. They lost by 8. So I say it's a 5.5 spread.
Hit that bell for yourself. You nailed it on the top. Come on.
5.5 on the money, baby. That's
You
what I'm
nailed it.
5.5. And I like it. And I'm taking the Commanders. I'm taking the Commanders.
I fucking love this Commanders team, and you got to take them.
Listen, they've got some key defensive players on that squad that are nice, man. Frankie Louvu can play, and Bobby Wagner, he's got something to prove, man. Those two linebackers are doing it. Young defensive ends, bro, and they're loving what Jaden Daniels is doing. But fuck, Eagles defense is sick. Eagles defense is nasty.
They're gnarly, bro.
Yo, Jalen Carter is I don't know how you do with that guy, but
that's the Bills line.
Ooh, Bills line with the Ravens. All right, so with the Chiefs. So last time we played them, we beat them by 9, and ever since we played them, we've all been. Regular season we own it against the Chiefs, but anytime we play in the playoffs, it's usually a tight game. So I'm gonna say they got the Chiefs because they're home at I'll say 3.5.
Chiefs minus 1.5.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Here we go. I like
Rico,
it.
I know. I got 2 things for you. One, how about my man Sergeant Slaughter becoming a member of the squad? Hit it.
Let's go, baby. I appreciate you. I see it.
We said we wouldn't get 5 of you. That's 1. We got 4 more. I got to read another comment, by the way, Rico. This made me laugh so hard. Aaron Allen goes, keep the super chats coming. They can't sign off with chats to read. What a time to be a Buffalo Bills fan. Aaron Allen wants us in here all night long.
Love it. Let's keep it rolling. Because we're having a good time. Chris Matlock. What up, Chris? He goes, and we finished the game healthy for the most part. They were flying. FKC, it's go time. Much love to you. Much love to you as well, man. For the most part, we got away with it unscathed. I like what we were able to do, and I just like our matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs. And what we have, I think we'll see a lot more utilization coming from our wideouts. I can't wait. I actually can't wait. I'm excited for it, but I really want to see how Taylor Rapp is doing and Taron Johnson. Although he came back in the game, can he continue? And does it get worse as a flare up? We'll see. We'll get our boy Thigh Doc to let us know what's really going on. So keep an eye on Thigh Doc. But it should be fun. It should be fun to see what takes place.
Like I keep saying, win or lose, man, it does not get better than Allen Mahomes for a right to go to the bowl. It just does not get better than that in all of sports.
Nah, no question about that. Scott Dubs, what up, Scott? Scott says, yo, the three-peat is incoming. Oh, here we go, Scott. Respect to you guys and love your channel. See you at Arrowhead next week. Bills, Mafia, Chiefs Kingdom. Listen, I love a respectful fan that comes in and says, hey.
Oh, it's my favorite.
Y'all are cool and all, but y'all got to come through us. It's just Chiefs Kingdom over here.
I'll tell you, man, I got a lot of love for these Chiefs fans. It's ever since my just 3-hour cry fest a couple of years ago. We have become, I would say, somewhat friends with a lot of these really cool Chiefs fans, and I love it. I think it's great. It's just a perfect, emblem of the rivalry that has been created. We really love it. It's awesome.
I will say this, so I've gotten over the years, I've gotten a lot of, man, I wish that you guys were them covering our squad. Do you get that a lot? Because I see that all the time over the years.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I wish that you guys, we don't have enough guys that do this, Listen, man, Bills Mafia, we are so lucky. We got so many content creators for Bills Mafia. If you want to catch anything anywhere, yo, you can hit up Cover One. You can hit up Overreaction Pod. You can hit up you'll be Built Buffalo. You can hit up Joe Marino. You can hit up, there's a whole lot of these cats that are doing it. If I missed a few, y'all know what time it is, man. Like,
the only reason you're missing a few is because there's so many great ones, Rico.
Buddy, man. So we appreciate that we are ones that you guys appreciate and you want to tune in with. Let's keep it rocking. Anthony 9805. You got me thinking of 92.
Hold on. I just want to say, if we were covering the Chiefs in a different universe, I think you and I don't even know if we would have made it this far. I think we would have had 7 heart attacks by this point. I mean, how is that even possible?
Buddy, with the way their season went down, block field goals here. I got to give it to them, man. The fact that they were able to block 2 field goals in that game against the Texans, I think it was 2, is unbelievable. Or one was a really bad shank, and the other one was the
one was a shank, but they blocked the one at the end. I mean, how many blocked freaking field goals did those guys have?
Unbelievable, man. Sometimes it's like people say, "Oh, it's so lucky." It's not luck if they keep doing it. Like, fam, it's not. They have a science to it. So kudos to these guys. They're doing it. Sick of the Ravens fans talking about Andrews won you guys the game. Forget who's getting the ball back with over 2 minutes left. Thank you very much, fam. The fact that, let's just say Andrews does get it. There was like just shy of 2 minutes left in the game, and you gave that time to Josh Allen. He would have milked the shit out of that clock, got his team into range, and Tyler Bass would have won the game for us. So, I mean, shoot.
A minute 33 and 3 timeouts.
Thank you. 3 times. We have all our timeouts. You guys only had 1 timeout left at the time. Bro, we ain't buying it. We're not buying it, bro. We're not buying it whatsoever. But appreciate whoever's talking that ish like that, because that wouldn't have been the case. Josh Allen he's clutch like that. Signified Nose comes back with a super chat and says, hey, I have a good message for the Ravens fans. However, YouTube is too cowardly. Let me post it. Watered down version. Dear Ravens fans. Middle finger. So for folks that don't understand the hatred that Signified Nose has for the Ravens fans, he lives in Ravens country. He's in Maryland. So he has to hear radio. He has to hear satellite. He has to hear all the people talk about it. He's got to see Ravens jerseys all over the place. You know what I mean? He's got to see it all. So the fact that he can gloat, he's going to talk you big-ish.
Let me tell you, speaking of which, I got a 6-hour drive back to Connecticut tomorrow. I'm going to be listening to Coward, Dan Patrick, Pro Football Talk. I'm going to be listening to that like it's Beethoven's Fifth, just driving home like this all the way there.
It is going to be great for you. Listen, those rides are simple because there's no real, I guess, time frame for you to be home. So you can just coast, take your time, and just drive back home, and it's a great ride. So good on you, fam. Good on you. Let's go to another super chat here. We got my man Andy Larson. What up, Andy? Andy comes in and says, even if Baltimore had scored the 2-point, I trust Allen would have driven down the field for a walk-off field goal. Lot of time left. You absolutely right. If it was Mitch Trubisky, no disrespect to Mitch Trubisky, then you could be like, I don't know. But you got one of the best in the game that's clutch. I mean, go back to 2020. Go back to 2020 and talk about clutch. Bro, you got the best quarterback in the game that's got the ball in time, bro. Stop playing.
And it's also why, I understand, like, believe me, I'm the first to admit, if they lose this game, we're probably sitting on here talking about the decision to kick the field goal, and we're having a conniption fit over it. But as I look back on it, kicking the field goal was a good decision the way that game would have gone regardless, because if Andrews does catch that ball, then you still have a chance to win. Kicking the field goal guaranteed you, at the worst, a chance to win in regulation or a chance to win in overtime. And because of Allen, The overtime rules are different now. So, hey, McDermott, strategy went his way this time. Thank God. Because, man, my man needed a W in that department, Rico.
Love it. I totally agree. By the way, shout out to my man, John Formicella, with a big super chat.
What kind of currency is that? THB?
So let me tell you what kind of currency that is. That is Thai. So my man, John, is a friend of mine that we've become friends over these airwaves. And he has been a mentor, believe it or not, to my daughter that's going to be law school. And he's been giving her advice and all that stuff. He's been a godsend. God bless that brother. He has sent over 729 Tibetan Thai baht is what
Thai baht. I just did the conversion. It is equivalent, for those who are wondering, to $21.23 of American currency.
There you go. So the Thai baht. So appreciate my man John Formicella. Shout out to my man John Formicella, which he's got a Facebook page that he's got going on right now, and so I appreciate you. And he's always streaming us on that YouTube, on that Facebook page. So my man Johnny coming through. He says, "Hey,
that's so cool.
What do we have to focus on or plan for KC? Ooh, what do we have to focus on and plan for KC? I mean, I'm trying to be funny here, but the referees, we got to plan focus for them. We got to handle our business. And now I truly mean this. We have to handle our business so much so that the refs do not affect what we do on the field. That's in that way. But what do we got to deal with? Shoot.
I mean,
you tell me. What do you feel that we have to focus on going to KC?
Their defensive line and Travis Kelsey. It's the two things that burned them last year. The defensive line and Travis. I mean, obviously Mahomes is a given. I don't have to tell you that. Obviously,
we know that.
But dude, Rico, Mahomes had 170 yards yesterday. 117 of them went to Kelsey. Kelsey can barely run anymore, and he had like 60 yards after the catch. They cannot allow him to stand there, pitch a tent, start a fire, roast a marshmallow, make a s'more, and then crack open a Coors and kick his feet up like Houston did yesterday. All of these teams, one of the most frustrating things in the last decade is watching Travis Kelsey get left on an island in these major games. To me, you shut down Kelsey and you mitigate the defensive line impact and you give yourself the best chance.
No, I like that. Great response. And I mean, we play this team so often. We're not dealing with Rashee Rice, right? We're dealing with the rookie that I think that we can all agree that we're fine that we didn't have to grab that rookie over there, that receiver, Xavier Worthy. And who we deal with? We're dealing with Noah Gray. I think it's Noah Gray.
Yeah, he's gonna be good when Kelsey retires. He already is good.
So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out at the end of the day. They got to make plays. We got to make plays. Chris Jones is who I worry about the most. He effed up our chances at putting them away. Chris, and I'm sure of it. I can guarantee you that my man Deion Dawkins is absolutely prepared for that matchup. You're not going to affect me the way they affected last time. Spencer Brown is absolutely prepared for that matchup with that big old neck roll. Let's roll, man. This O-line, let me tell you something, man. This O-line has been such a fresh air, a breath of fresh air all year round. They've been healthy. They've kept our listen, we just faced the two best pass rushing defenses getting after the team. The 63 sack Denver Broncos and the 54 sack Ravens. And in those 3 games, 2 sacks given up. I'll take it. I'll take it all day.
By the way, my man Will, he wants to know, how do I become a member? You know how to tell him how to become a member?
Listen, it's so simple. You got 2 ways you can do it. You can actually go down and scroll. If you get away from the chat, you can actually scroll down and there's a little I guess there's a dollar sign at the bottom and it tells you if you wanted to super chat something or become a member. That's one thing. But becoming a member, supportbf.com. It's that simple. www.supportbf.com. Jump in there and go from there. If you don't want to leave the page, you can actually stay on the page and go to members on our actual YouTube channel page. Go to the YouTube channel and go to members, and it tells you exactly how to do it from there. Simple as that. I hope that clears up anything. If you have any questions, come see us. By the way, moving on. William 30.
I just saw a stat get flashed on ESPN. Guess how many games in a row the Bills have not lost the turnover battle?
Oh, fuck. I don't know. What would that be?
21.
21 straight?
21 games in a row, the Bills have not lost the turnover battle.
Bro, we got to get to 22 now, baby.
We got to get to
22 now, baby.
23 on.
Hey, we got to get to 23, baby. Let's roll. Let's roll. All right, listen. We got William 30 comes in and gives us 14. We call those, I guess we call them, what do we call the A?
Is that Aussie money?
Australia.
Yeah.
From Australia. I don't know what they call the currency over there, but Australian currency, which actually equates to $8 US currency. Appreciate you, my man. He says, yes. Enough said. He knows what time it is. That's a big win. William 30, we appreciate that love. I hope you're still watching. Showing some love, bro, man. GQ Bob, let's effing go. Hey, yo, Raquan. F around and find out, huh? 2 more to go. Yo, Roquan Smith was pissing me off, man. Getting his boys riled up. Yo, we're just going to do what we need to do. He made it seem like it was simple shit. You can take that fake ass, impersonation you do of my man, 52 Ray Lewis, and go sit your ass somewhere, man. It ain't your time. It ain't your time, bub. It ain't your time. Let's keep it rolling. Brandon Wright, what's Brandon saying?
I cannot get over that Tre'Davious White play. They just flashed. I mean, dude, going back to the Dolphins game, Jordan Poyer helping him out. I mean, man, I don't know.
I'm gonna be real with you. I actually feel bad for Tre'Davious White.
Me too, dude.
Did
you see that video that like Jenna Cottrell put up and Dan Fates put up earlier? Him walking in, he gave him all a hug and stuff. Like, dude, he's the man.
I feel bad for the brother. I really do. He went over there. I mean, listen, we let him go because obviously contractually, it just made sense for us to let him go, and it just wasn't working out. And the poor injury, the injury killed him. You know what I mean? Then he goes to the Rams. He's getting cooked, and then he gets released. And then was he traded or released? I think he was released. And then the Ravens pick him up. I just feel bad for the guy. I feel for him, man. I want him to have all the success in the world, but those injuries can catch up to you, and it happens. Oh, you feel bad for the brother.
Such a likable guy, man.
Yeah, so likable. But Brandon Wright says, you got to sound that horn for Tyler Bass, 51-yard field goal, no missed extra points, and the Bills Mafia and coaching staff and home field advantage. You ain't lying, brother. You ain't lying. Tyler Bass has been on it. He's been doing it. Let's go. What's Lightning Bear got to say?
Lightning Bear saying, I finally understand McDermott's soft defense on the last drive. He did it so we could have time and timeouts to answer if Ravens scored. Masterclass. Lightning Bear, your sarcasm is not lost on me. You want to know what that came down to? Listen.
Talk about it.
The Bills couldn't have played any better coverage on that touchdown. Lamar's the only quarterback probably scoring that touchdown there. The amount of time that you can buy, you can't get after Lamar. So his ability to buy time in the pocket there, you can only cover professional wide receivers for so long. So it was softer than usual. You know how much we hate that here. But that touchdown really came down to Lamar's ability to be Lamar. They got it on the TV right now. We're already at 4, 5, 6, 7. He had 8 seconds in the pocket, Rico, before firing that touchdown.
How long he had? Holy crow, man.
So, yeah. But, hey, Lightning Bear, you know what? Maybe McDermott's more of a genius than we give him credit for. Maybe that was the strategy after all. You could be right.
Hey, you never know. You absolutely never know. Let's move on to the next. We got Signified Nose coming right back at it. He says, hey, I need him to avenge 13 seconds so I can finally move on from it. We need to wear all white. Listen, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. We got to do it. Let's keep it rolling. Scott Dubs, the Bills will forget their strengths and losing KC. Now, Scott Dubs, you know that ain't going to happen. I know you're a Kansas City Chiefs fans. I get it. But we're not going to forget. How do you forget what got you to where you're at when you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs? No, sir. Not only will we not forget, we're going to ramp up. We're absolutely going to ramp up for your ass. I'm trying to tell you, Scott Dubs. Anyway, Edic has been a member for 38 months. He's been holding, or she has been holding it down. Love the win, but I felt that the Bills held back in the second half and irritated me. Why do we hold back on the good size leads? Let me get this one. It's not about holding back on the good size leads. This is the NFL. Adjustments have to be made. You're going to get a more aggressive, I guess, play call out of the offensive coordinator. And defensively, you don't want to give up a big play. You also want to keep things in front of you. So it may come off as you're being passive or too conservative per se. But sometimes it's just a mixture of both. You're going to have a team that's going to be ready to throw the ball. So now you're like, I got to be in pass coverage. But if you blitz or you become too aggressive, you're susceptible to big plays. So what I feel the Bills are trying to do was not give up big plays. If you're going to score on us, you're going to have to waste time and chunk all the way down the field. And if I got to make you use all 3 downs rather than just 1 down, that's exactly what I'll do. Because sometimes, I mean, just watch the Rams. The Rams today, where the Eagles go up 2 scores, and then blink an eye, Rams are down the field and scoring, and you're back to a close score game. So those are the reasons you don't want to be too aggressive, because big plays like that happen. So you want to make them earn it. So if you want to make them use 3 downs, 3 downs, 3 downs, so be it. You're killing clock, you're gassing yourself out, and hopefully I can make a stop and make you take 3. But the Rams were so effective, they got down the field and boom, they hit it. So you got to give them their love in that regards. But great question, by the way. Great question. Richie, huge favor. Shout out my nephews, Timmy and Jack. Yo, Timmy, Jack, what it do? Big Bills win. We love to have it. Big dubs coming through you.
Hey, by the way, I just got a text from my main man, Bobby Baltimore, Bobby Trossett. He was in the building. He texted me 1 a.m. He just says, enjoy it, brother. We will, Bobby. We will indeed. I know Bobby was out there tonight, had a ball. A lot of Ravens fans I know made the trip up. I'm sure Bobby had. I mean, hey, regardless, win or lose, what a game to be at. No doubt about it.
Bobby Baltimore. I know he's hurting right now. All Ravens fans should be hurting, as they should. That's your team, man. Now you got to go in the offseason figuring out, like, yo, what the heck do we do? Do we bolster the O-line? Do we not have enough pass rush? How do we stop this? We don't have enough receivers. We need to get him some receivers. What do we do at tight end? But we have Isaiah Lucky and Andrews. Andrews is getting old. Look what happened to him. Bro, there's going to be a whole lot of that type of conversation happening.
You know what's so crazy, Rico?
Talk about it.
The fact that the Ravens were 11-0 when Derrick Henry ran for 90, and he was guaranteed to hit 90 after that third quarter, and they still held him to 84. That stat line's crazy. Like, stats like that kill me, because it feels like it's a checkpoint to victory, right? Like, it just feels like that's a guarantee to get to a W. Guys, Derrick Henry, you mentioned it earlier, Rico. Saquon Barkley, the last time they played the Rams, he had 255, and he had 205 tonight. You know, the last time the Bills played Derrick Henry, he had a $160 something. They cut him in half. That's right.
Yes, he almost ran for 200 yards on us, man. He killed us.
Dude, they cut it almost into a third tonight. That cannot be understated at all.
Can't be. Big time. Brandon Wright says, I appreciate the Joe Brady sucking with the run. That's why Allen seemed mediocre. The 3-headed monster we have were prime suspects for mediocrity. I'm going to disagree with that, man.
I think he meant sticking with the run, Rico, instead of sucking there.
So I appreciate Joe Brady sucking or sticking with. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? If he's saying sticking, that's a. I don't know. Is the U and the T are they all together? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Well, then you wouldn't put the with in there. No, you're right. I don't know. Brandon, clarify.
No. He's throwing shade. He said, I appreciate Joe Brady sucking with the run. That's why Allen seemed mediocre.
Okay.
Or did he say sticking with the run?
See, that's where the with is throwing me off.
So maybe he meant sticking with the run, because that's why Allen seemed mediocre.
Right.
The 3-headed monster we have were prime suspects for mediocrity. Well, you're still throwing shade. You're still throwing shade, whether we look at it or not. And this is where I disagree. I think those guys actually kept the Ravens balanced, because although James Cook didn't have his best performance, but he was still plugging away. When Ray Davis got in there, positive yards. Okay, sticking with it. Thank you, Brandon. Appreciate you doing that, by the way. So sticking with the run, then yes. But I mean, you're still throwing shade a little bit because you're saying they're mediocre. I don't think they were mediocre. That was the best run-stopping defense in the league. And we were still able to put up just shy of 150 yards, 147 yards rushing today. So I think overall, we did quite well to kind of keep them at bay, keep the time of possession on our side, and converting, because that last run that sealed the game was a mediocre run by Ty Johnson that sealed the game and got us the victory. I'm just saying, brother. I'm just saying. So,
by the way, hey, how about a tip of the cap to Ray Davis, who was questionable to even play? I thought he had a couple of big moments in this game, and Ty Johnson. Tip of the cap.
Big time players, brother. Bada Bing Crosby. Lamar is a playoff turnover machine. I'd love to see what his stats are in terms of playoffs and how many balls he's turned, how many times he's turned the football over. That'd be crazy work. Brandon Rice says, yo, horn for our trenches not getting pushed around. You know what? Fact. Big time fact. 2 games straight where we dominated the trenches, and we got to continue because those are 2 games that those boys were deemed to be the team that pushed people around. We were listen. You got me talking with a lisp. I said,
listen up right now. I'll tell you something right here.
Let me tell you something real quick here. But the Broncos had the best O-line in the league, or one of the top best O-lines in the league. They had the top defensive line in the league. We just faced a defense that's number 1 in run stopping. Bro, we're facing teams with great trenches. So we got to keep the movement going, man. You build through the trenches, and that's what exactly McDermott and them boys did. So kudos to these boys, man. Look at me. I'm still up. It's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. I got to work at 6. Let's roll. Let's keep rolling. Brady Green got tickets to KC with my dad. Buffalo is taking over. Buffalo all the way this time. Bro, Brady Green, yo, you're going to love that. Go ahead. Bobby, you went to KC. Did you go to KC ever?
I have not been to KC. No, it's on my bucket list, no doubt.
I love it. Love it. Love it. City of losers, huh? Go Bills. Yo, city of losers. You hate that people put stuff on the bulletin board and make it worse for the team, because that little city of losers thing probably permeated in that locker room. City of losers, we're going to show you city of losers. You feel me? So it's like sometimes outsiders just need to shut their asses up because you just wrote a check that the team couldn't cash. And we'll take it every time. Mr. Clayton comes in and says, yo, stuck watching my sister's pets instead of celebrating at a bar. Though good thing my brother-in-law left a nicely stocked whiskey cabinet. Bro, go ahead and take some shots, bro. Go take some shots. But if you're gonna take some shots, try to replace with some water to make it seem like you didn't. But if he says, yo, go ahead and go nuts, yo, go nuts, brother, go nuts. Richie Fresh says, yo, boys, what I tell you, 59, baby, Chiefs getting humbled. I like it. I like it. Zach Ostrander says, yo, pedal to the metal, can't do ish in the playoffs. Bro, we got to keep the pedal to the metal for real. No question about it. Mr. Clayton comes in and says, hey, easy rule. No team can talk to employed NFL coaches, coordinators until after the season. Also, the Ravens OC also is being interviewed. I just don't like it. I'm of the notion that if my team is in the playoffs, you are not to speak to any of them. Because what do you need to speak to this team right now that you're going to make a decision? You're going to make a decision afterwards. So wait till get into the offseason, make your interviews, do all that bullshit, and then you can go ahead. Not when my guy is focused and ready to roll. I think they just get rid of that completely. But here we are. They keep doing it. All right. John DeFazio, Brady don't take effing interviews this week and prepare because the play calling was bad today. That was by far our worst matchup in the playoffs. I mean, shoot. We got the dub at the end of the day. Maybe he needs to get out, clear his head a little bit. But at the end of the day, we made things happen. I don't like it. Bot doesn't like it. But it's the rules. Them's the rules. But Johnny, I feel you, bro. I don't like it at all, man. I want my guy focused and ready to go with his guys. Buffalo Will says, yo, that TV peanut punch. Oh, that Terrell Bernard peanut punch on the Andrews in the middle of the field was the play of the game. Absolutely play of the game.
Play of the year.
It takes a level of awareness. I don't care whoever the Madden guys are that give the Madden points. Terrell Bernard's awareness should be at least 88 or above. I don't know who plays Madden and who looks at it, because I think I bought the Madden, but I never played it, not even once. But I needed it just to have Josh on the cover. But anyway,
yeah, of course.
I need to see what Terrell Bernard's rating is. If whoever knows Terrell Bernard's rating in terms of awareness, let me know what it is, because I'm curious to see how that plays out. Our guy, Walter, what's Walter saying?
My man Walt saying Lamar Jackson has the most turnovers in the postseason since. By the way, Walt's always coming in with the goods. Lamar Jackson has the most turnovers in the postseason since 2018. When the lights are brightest and you need a turnover, LJ is your guy.
Cold. That is cold, but he's not right. He's not wrong. I mean, if he's leading it,
I didn't know that.
That's tough. That's a lot. That's a lot to deal with. And here's the thing: as much as nobody wants to, Dan Orlovsky, somebody had to lose and they had a great time. You're a loser if you think, bro. The stats are the stats. That's why people keep these stats, and they matter. And when you turn the ball over, you're known for turning the ball over in the playoff, bro. That's a problem. The same way that Josh was known for turning the ball over in the regular season, but he tightens his game up in the playoffs. The same can't be said for Lamar Jackson. He's got to tighten up. Can't give up the ball. You can't give the ball away. Can't do it. Super Lancer. What's up, Super Lancer? It says Rico and Bot. I live in Windsor, Ontario. Shout out to my Canadian Bot. He goes, I get looks from people everywhere due to me wearing my Bills gear every week. Gonna be repping all week, bro, as you should.
Yeah, let him look, Super Lancer. Let him take a good old look. Let him take a glance.
Bro, you're from Windsor, so you're near Detroit. You know what I'm saying? You're across the way from Detroit. So, bro, rock your shit, bro. Rock your shit. Don't worry about it. Let him know what's happening.
Put the Lance glance. Lance, let him take a big old look.
That's right.
Let's get up all damn week, baby.
Love it. Super Lancer comes back and says, yo, where is Ravens for Life 716? I can't stand trolls. Yo, Ravens for Life is in our chats all the time. I see that, brother. Oh, he's here?
No, he is always here. I haven't seen him tonight. I haven't seen him tonight.
Nah, not a peep. Crickets. But he'll be back. They always come back, don't they?
Yeah, he'll be back when the MVP race is a dead heat again next year, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, he'll be right back in here. Jim Dummerville says, yo, what a game. Go Bills all the way this time. Hey, Jim Dummerville, appreciate that super chat. And listen, what a game that was, man. What a great game that was. Jim Dummerville comes back and says, you know what? I'm not done. Hyde gets a ring then. Wouldn't that be something for Hyde to get a ring? That'd be so sick. That'd be just poetic. Poetic, man. He comes back. They do right by him to bring him back. You got Jordan Poyer going, but you decided to go and join the ops. So sorry, bro. You ain't get it. If you sat out a year, maybe we would have brought your ass back too. You would have had a chance. But nope. You decided to go over there. So you do what you do. Here we go. JP says, yo, where is that bum Jerry Coleman who called the city of losers now? Buffalo versus everybody. Y'all know what it is, man. That backdrop's not like this for no reason, bro. Every time I battle with myself, should I get rid of the backdrop? But I love it so much, I keep it. But one of these days, I got to get rid of it. I got to get me one of those fatheads. And one of those fatheads is going to replace
Somebody just used our free order, by the way. Who was it? Was it Pierre? Was it you? Or was it Bobby?
No, I didn't use it. I thought I was going to get a chance to use it.
Somebody just went nutty on it. I saw the email.
Somebody got it. Somebody made
a good choice, so they went with Allen. Good choice.
Oh, that's a great choice. That's a great choice. I got to go with there, man. That's like $200 for one of those stickers, but I'll take it.
Tell you what, $200 got a life-size Allen on my wall. That's almost free.
Listen, man, I was going to say, like, if I were to get a fathead, which player would I get? It makes sense to get Josh Allen. You want a player that's going to be around for a while, or you want a classic player. Do I go with a Thurman Thomas? Do I go with, you know what I mean?
That Bruce Smith is fire. That one they got.
Having Bruce Smith on the wall, that size of mammoth of a man, that'd be insane. Insane. All right. Dummerville says, yo, bring out Mahomes. We needed to beat them all to win. Let's do it. Yo, we got to take them down. We got no choice. We got to do it. We're at the point of no return. We've reached the AFC Championship. Nah, you got to take that. You got to take that, bro. How wild is it? This is their 7th straight AFC trip.
I can't get over it. You know, and it's funny because it makes you forget that the Patriots went to 8 straight. But the difference is, I had a ton of. I tweeted this out yesterday. I'm like, how unfathomable is 7 straight AFC championships? And I had a bunch of Patriots fans in my comments. Well, not that unfathomable. We did it 8 times. Yeah. But Mahomes has done it every single year he's been the starting quarterback. So it's a little bit different. You know, Brady didn't rattle off 8 straight AFC championships right out of the bottom of the 6th round.
Exactly.
So it's a little different. It's insane.
It is. I 1000% agree. Let's keep it rolling here. Jay Money says, I would give he said, I'll give my left testicle to see the look on Diggs' face if we beat the Chiefs next week. Bro, Diggs is probably so unbothered.
Yeah,
he's probably so unbothered.
Happy for him, honestly.
I don't think he's bothered by this. I think he's like, yo, it is what it is.
I agree.
It is what it is. But he had no choice but to watch. And watching it, and I'm like, shit, they just did it. Golly, okay, I see you, bro. But fam, and he's from the Maryland area. So he probably low-key probably was rooting for the Ravens. I don't know. I doubt it. I think he still has love for Buffalo in some capacity. But maybe not. Who knows? You never know these days. But man, he's probably got some look on his face right now. Stanley Wilson comes in and says, hey, from Titan Nation here. What up, Stan? Our teams have had some blowouts and some close ones. Rico and Buffalo fans, y'all better finish shit, man, for real. Bear, I'm telling you, man, Bills fans, myself, Bot, everybody, we understand where we're at. We understand. And Bot, you said it so great, man. We were too young then when we were in the 2020 AFC Championship. We didn't know any better. We were just happy to be there. All right, let's try to get this thing going and roll with it. And we thought we could be there every year. And then we found out how difficult it is, clearly. And every year, everybody's getting better. Joe Burrow, like, if he were in these playoffs, bro, damage. So it is what it is at this point. So lesser evils, you're going to get us. So deal with it. Ian Graham says, yo, bot, where's that sweatshirt from?
Abercrombie, baby. You already know. Abercrombie, the NFL gear from Abercrombie is my favorite. Get on it. It sells out all the time, and they don't restock it. Like, once it's gone for good. I think this one's still up there. Head on over there. I love their stuff. It's my favorite.
Look at bot. Just plug it away. Plug it away, bro. Let's go.
Yep. Shameless plug. I have no ties to him either. None.
Dylan comes in and says, yo, not a game question, but how do you measure who's the MVP? Stats or narrative? That's been the age-old question. Some folks go by stats. Some say it's not just the stats. Who did they beat? What are they working with? Right? What time of year did they win this game? So there's a whole lot that plays into what an MVP player consists of. It's a combination of all, but it can't be based on all stats, because if it were all stats, it would neither be Lamar nor would it be Josh Allen. It'd be Joe Burrow.
Correct.
So we're not dealing with stats here. So if it's the narrative, well, everybody's got their own narrative that they can push. But the narrative right now is Lamar Jackson can get his third, that he's finally put it all together. He deserves it, XYZ, right? He took down the Bills and rah. Josh Allen, on the other hand, is doing it with less. He beat the 2 number 1 teams in the NFC and AFC. What are we talking about here? He's the MVP. So the votes are in. So we're about to wait for another few weeks, and we'll find out exactly who gets what. And Josh Allen better be the one lifting that trophy up. Brandon Wright comes back and says, "Bot, that destiny word speaks of the road traveled going through Baltimore, and Lamar, then Chiefs, and Mahomes is a destiny for the legend. Then you put our offense in a dome for the bowl. Good night." Yo, he ain't lying. We got to get through this cold, grummy days, and then we can take it to a dome and light the skies up. We just got to do it. He ain't wrong. Bot's been talking about destiny, and the destiny, we see it, man. You got to go through Denver. Great defense. You got to go through Baltimore. Solid defense with a dual threat that's been killing teams all year. And we put them on ice today, literally. So let's go Kansas City. We got to go to KC and do what we do. Let's go. Nick Wright. I know we're not Nick Wright fans, but he had a good point on X today. I don't know what Nick Wright said, but
I don't know. I really don't mind Nick Wright at all anymore. I
never minded Nick Wright. I think he's brilliant, first of all.
I've kind of grown to really like him, to be honest with you.
He's actually really smart. He knows his sports, and you may not like his takes, but his takes are correct.
Well, even when they're not, he always brings a reason for it. So many of these guys just throw bullshit at the wall and hope it sticks.
Yep.
Every time he's got a take, whether you disagree with it or not, he's always got something to back it up, and I've always kind of respected that about him.
Love it. By the way, Super Bowl odds, Philly plus 180, KC plus 240, Bills plus 260, Washington plus 650.
Let me show you a magic trick, Rico. Let me show you how to turn 100 into 260 right now.
Well played. I'm gonna check to see what Nick Wright is saying. I mean, this guy says a lot of great things, but I mean, hate it. Say what you want about Nick Wright. That brother, he knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about. He says this was Lamar's best performance in a playoff loss, but that's kind of the problem. Lamar didn't have multiple turnovers in the game all season, and then has multiple turnovers in the first half. The last time he had multiple turnovers, AFC Championship game last year.
Rico, go ahead and hit that bell for Nick Wright.
He ain't wrong.
By the way, this just in from our man KC Mule updating us. We just hit the 1,000 like mark on this. Biatch.
Did we hit it?
Let's go. Hit it.
There it is. Let's keep it rolling. We're hot right now. So Signified Nose comes in and says, yo, Nick Wright, I read that tweet. He's got a lot of tweets out there that I got to go and take a look at. But Monday, listen, your ride home is going to be fantastic. You're going to have a fantastic ride home. Enjoy.
Honest to God, Rico, if I didn't have a few ciders in me, I might hop in the car right now and drive home. Honest to God.
Listen, man, listen, great job, by the way. Super Lancer comes in and says, hey, I'm surrounded by Lions fans at my university here in Windsor, and will be wearing my gear every single day this week. If you don't hear from me, you know. Listen, Lions fans, bro.
I feel so
Lions
bad.
fans.
I feel so bad.
Dude, Campbell's face when he knew the inevitable was happening.
Dude, he cried at the presser, bro.
Oh, did he? He cried?
Yeah.
Missed it.
I mean, dude, I love that guy.
That's rough.
That defense, it just had nothing left. It had nothing left at all.
They gave you an impression when they faced the Vikings that they're back. They got it. Nah, frauds.
Jared Goff also absolutely imploded too.
He's my problem. It wasn't anything else. Jared Goff has these games where he can light you up and throw 5 picks, and they freaking still find a way to win. It's just like, you can't turn the ball over like that, bro. And it was just too much.
This is what we were talking about earlier. Like, the difference between a guy like him and a guy like Allen and Lamar is you don't have to rely on gunning the ball down the field all game to win. I mean, you can just do different things, and
and you have Jahmyr Gibbs, which is Jahmyr Gibbs is a great back.
He played well.
Oh man, and you throwing the ball like that? Like, get out of here, bro. But listen, you got to give
your team went up 45 points. Like, they had to do it. That's the problem.
They were doing it, man. Washington was that team. By the way, big shout out to Marlo. He goes, I'm a Ravens fan. I've been desensitized by these heartbreaks throughout my life. The Bills played a great game. Spread love, no hate. Go beat KC, bro. Let me tell you about desensitized, brother.
No,
we have felt pain like you've never felt pain before. I don't even have to tell you. Just look at this guy. Go back a few years ago and look at the video of this man. This man was an absolute mess. An absolute mess.
That's desensitized right there. That's desensitized.
Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you. This man is an absolute mess. So we know about pain. Trust us. 4 straight Super Bowls, bro. We know. Believe me, 18 years of getting beat down by the same team, the Patriots, bro. We know. Trust me, we know. So
hey, go ahead and give my man
Marlo's under your belt.
They do.
You're bullshit.
Give Marlo a super chat. Give him a bell though, because we love a bipartisan fan giving us some love. We love that.
Let me give you a little love for that, man. Appreciate that. Always spread love, no hate, man. Always.
Hey, Marlo, we appreciate you. We We got a lot of respect for the Ravens, and that's a hell of a team the Bills just had to beat. So
no question about it. No question about it. By the way, we got Jordan Parkinson coming in with a big super chat. All he wanted to say, or she, was love y'all. Listen, man. All we want to do is talk about our team, and this is how great this is, man. I'll tell you right now, me and Bot, if we could do this full time and not have to worry about finances and just play and just talk on our team, bro. I already told wifey, if I get an opportunity, bro, I might. Well, you have a good job, I know, but I might still consider doing this full time and just doing what I love, bro. It's always great to be able to connect with people. You know what I mean? It's a great deal. So the fact that Jordan Parkinson, you came through and says, yo, I ain't got nothing to say. I just want to say I love y'all, man. Yo, here's a little something. Hold that. Appreciate you. That's love, man. Love that very much so.
It's our favorite thing ever, especially on nights like this. We got a lot of love for all you guys. We all hope you know it.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. By the way,
I mean, speaking of which, it's 1:30 a.m. We still got 4,300 rocking in the building right now. So the love could not be more mutual.
Let's go, man. Let's go. Let's keep it rolling, man. David Ritz, if I should say. Much respect for Chiefs fans. I went to the 13 seconds game. Oh, bless your heart. Ugh. And so many looked me in the eye and said, wow, great game. We'll see you next year. And listen, man, sometimes respect is respect. When they see a game, that game was the best game I've ever seen. I thought the Raiders was it the Raiders and Saints game? No. Raiders Chargers game a few years ago was the best game I've ever seen. When they were just going back and forth. And both
Raiders Chargers?
Was it Raiders Chargers?
It was Rams Chiefs Monday Night Football.
No. It was a Raiders game. I think it was Derrick Carr. Derrick Carr was quarterbacking for the Raiders, and I think it was that game, but that was amazing. I was watching that game. I was like, they're just going back and forth and making play after play after play. It was unbelievable. I can't recall which one, but I'm sure somebody knows what I'm talking about. Great game. But the Chiefs game ended up taking the cake for me. Best game, win or lose, best game I've ever seen. I witnessed it, but it just sucks that it had to be your team that took the L. Sucks.
That game is, to me, the greatest game of all time is the 2015 NFC Championship, Packers Seahawks. If you ever get a chance, because I bet you forgot.
I have to go back and watch that.
It's the game where the Packers completely imploded, and the Seahawks scored and then got an onside kick and scored again and then hit a bomb in overtime. Go watch the highlights when we're done here. I promise you, you will enjoy it.
Better than the 13-second game?
No, my point was the only reason I can't say the 13-second game is the best I've ever seen is because it's caused me the most heartbreak I think I've ever experienced in my life.
I get it.
Outside of that, it would be that game. I'm telling you guys, when we're done here, go watch those highlights. That game is insane.
I'm with you. Mr. Clayton comes back with a super chat and says, hey, for the drive down, Z-Bot, I'm stuck in the same tri-state, and these people can't drive in the snow. Also, Rico, congrats on your daughter, man. Appreciate you, man. Love. Mr. Clayton came through, big things. But yeah, man, people driving in the snow, folks. I can't tell you
Figure it out. You live in New York. Figure it out.
Figure it out. I'll tell you right now. I moved from Ontario. I moved to Nova Scotia, and it fogs here a lot. Deep, heavy, thick fog. Just drive through the bitch, man. You got people turning on their four ways on. Get out the way. 4 ways. Get out of here with that, man. It's not even that thick as the fog. So those that can't drive in the snow, learn to drive in the snow. Get over it. Grow up. Put some Blizzaks on that bitch and get going. You know what I mean? Get some studded tires. Get going, man. But Mr. Clayton, I appreciate you. And my daughter is still deciding on what school she wants to go to. The more prestigious one that is well known in Canada, or she's gonna go to the one out east near me. So she's deciding: do I want lifestyle? Do I want to be at the best school? I say, hey, you got to decide both. You're going to get an education no matter what. Get the education. That's all that matters. And then write your bar wherever you want to write your bar. And she's still deciding. So appreciate you. Let's get to Alton, Venezuela. Alton, I don't see the membership button anywhere on YouTube.
But guess what? He found it.
Well played. That was nice. You set that up perfect. That was nice. That was dope. Shout out to my man Alton Venezuela. Appreciate you, big dog. Appreciate you. That was well played. Well played, brother. Dan Echo comes through and says, yo, boys, 3rd time this year you missed my super chat. Golly, Dan, are we doing that to you like that? I was legit the first one sent. Gotta show me more love. Right. One thing no one touched on, Ravens practicing indoors. The drops got me thinking. Hold on.
Wait, we did not miss a Dan super chat earlier. No shot.
We don't miss super chats, but brother Dan Echo, man, this is you. Is this you right here? I thought we had you, man.
No, we had every damn one tonight.
Every single one. You must have went for a bathroom break like Bot when he had his bladder issue.
Oh, that could have happened. Hey, if you're like me, you probably missed 20 super chats tonight.
That's what happened. But listen, I'm not gonna take what you Dan. Dan, I'm pretty sure we read yours the first one. So go back and read back and see what we did. But anyway,
damn it, I hate that, man. It's so damn hard. You guys are showing so much love, and it's like I can't even. I hate it.
Everything that we can. But he says one thing that got touched on: Ravens practicing indoors. Yo, why practice indoors? If you're gonna be out in element, get out in the elements and learn that you're gonna be playing outside in the cold. Wouldn't you, as a head coach, take your team outdoor facility, or are you like football's football? Grow up. It's gonna be cold. Get to it.
Nope, I'm practicing. I mean, go ask any of the players who played for Belichick if you think that they didn't practice out in the freezing cold in Foxborough. Get your ass out there. You're playing in a game that's going to be 10 degrees. Go get used to it. I mean, that's an easy answer to me. What the hell am I practicing inside for if that game's going to be in the whipping winds of Orchard Park with snow on the ground? Hell no. Get out.
Got to. You got to play it. You got to play outdoors. Get the elements. Know what it's going to feel like catching the football, throwing the football, all that good stuff, bro. So you want to see it? I mean, you saw the big drop by freaking Derrick Henry at the beginning. I mean, dude, that's just it's cold out. You're not as mobile and flexible to get down and get it. I mean, a lot of that plays a factor, man. Well, all right, electric guitar, Greg Tar. Is that what I'm saying?
I like that.
Not sure if you guys have brought this up yet, but is there a chance that Hyde is activated for next week? Bro, you just never know. But here's the deal. If Taylor Rapp doesn't play, Kareem Jackson's next up. It's always been that way. Do they bypass Kareem Jackson to activate Micah Hyde? I doubt it. That wouldn't be the ethical thing to do. The moral thing to do would be to play the guy that's next up in line, right? The more agile, the more ready guy. But if they feel that, yo, Kareem, sit your ass out, we're going to put my mans in, shoot, then that's just what it's going to be. That's just what it's going to be. But we touched on it a little bit, but I can't see it. I think he'll remain on the practice squad unless we get into a dire situation where you got to play. And I think that's when he will. Joseph Carden says, I think I became a Bills member. Sorry, I think I became a member. Go Bills. If you think we should see you show up, brother. So if you didn't, no big deal. You ain't got to do it. But if you do it, much love to you. Would love to have you.
If he thinks he did, he definitely went out of his way to do it. Hit that bell for my man Joe real quick.
Let me hit that because at least you're looking and trying. And if you haven't, like I said, no big deal, no shame. The fact that you're here hanging out with us, that's all that matters to us, bro. Appreciate you. And by the way, my man, Super Lancer, I love Bills Mafia and I love my Bills family, man. No doubt about it, baby. No doubt about it. Let's keep it rolling. Let us keep it rolling. We got Retro. Retro Druk says, yo, go Bills. Go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to KC, bro. Enjoy it. You're going to KC. Enjoy it. I wonder if KC's as cold as Buffalo. You think it's as cold as Buffalo?
I bet you it's pretty damn cold. Oh, yeah.
I'm sure it is, man. What is it? Midwest? Midwest is still pretty damn cold.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely freezing cold out there.
No doubt about it. All in Venezuela says, yo, 2006 Rose Bowl, best game I've ever seen.
Unarguably one of the greatest sporting events in the history of time. We still talk about Vince Young taking on Reggie Bush to this day. That game
was fun. That
game will forever have a spot in my mind. One of the greatest games of all time, no question.
I remember watching that game and I was like, this football is the greatest sport ever. Nobody can tell me anything other than that. That's the greatest sport ever.
Dude, 06 Reggie Bush. I mean, we're talking about one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. Plus, that Texas Vince Young, off the charts. Just a crazy, crazy, crazy game.
Nah, no question about it. By the way, Eric Pete, what up, Eric? What's happening, brother? He goes, at times in the past, we've criticized McDermott's defensive strategy of achieving DL pressure for the sake of pressure, but not caring about sacks more than that. Tonight, the example of it is working. Listen, Eric Peak, sometimes, I mean, pressure is one thing, and I struggle with this because I'm like, the D-line plays like crap. Bro, when the quarterback's throwing the ball 2.1 second, 1.3, bro, what can you do? The only thing you do is try to get your hands up as much as you can, right? Unless the coverage is locked down on the back end. So for the most part, man, McDermott, he had these boys ready today. Let's keep it a buck. He had these boys absolutely ready. He came through, handled business, and the results are the W. That's what we needed. That's what we got, and we keep it rolling, man. We keep it rolling.
I thought you were about to eat it like Jameis right there.
Nah, bro, I wasn't about to. I wasn't about to do all that. But here we are. We've reached every last super chat.
Wow.
Listen, I can't. I'll speak on both of us. We can't be more thrilled than to be able to cover this team.
You said it.
Express ourselves, and this is therapy. At least for me. I don't know. I know about me and Bot. We use this as therapy. Sometimes I can't finish watching a game, win or lose, and I go, "Well, time for bed." No
time
way.
to hunker down for the right? No,
there's no way. Time for bed. You know what I'm going to do? Time for bed. I'm going to be going up and scrolling my phone and listening to everything Bills related to see what's being said. Are they saying what I'm saying? Did they see what I saw? There's a whole lot of that plays in part. And to me, this is therapy. And this is therapy for a lot of folks, especially when and I hate to, and I'm not even going to put it out there, when results don't turn the way we want them to, those are the best times to join these streams to be like, all right, yo, are you frustrated just as I'm frustrated? Yeah, you saw that too? Oh, man, golly, we got to be better. And nothing better than when there's people venting the same rage you are or feeling like Bot, when Bot was just his heart was he gave you guys his heart on the screen. He said, here, take it. Share my heart. That's exactly how he felt. So the fact that we are in this position right now to be able to share this, debrief, and just go, and when we lay our head on the pillow, be like, say your prayer, and just go, whew, pass out. And that's what it is, man. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning. I got to be up in 3 hours. I don't care.
I can't believe you got to work at 6 a.m.
Listen, I got to be up.
You're gonna be riding that. You're gonna be riding those. You're gonna be riding that energy, though, bro.
Yank that thing, man. I'm ready to go, man. Give me 3 hours of sleep. Give me a coffee in the morning, bro. We rolling, man. We rolling, having a good old time, and that's how I like it. That's how I like it. I'll stay up for these things. I remember when I used to work nights. I used to take the day off. I ain't taking no day off right now.
Hell no.
We got this. We got this. But it's been great therapy, man. So if you have seen it as therapy for yourselves, go ahead and hit that like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have not gone ahead and got your Fathead, went to the link and got your Fathead, go ahead and hit the Buff Fanatics code that gets you 15% off. Get yourself a sticker. Even if you have kids, right? You want to get them a little something, put them in their room and say, you know what? The bills are feeling good. Daddy wants to open the wallet. Mommy wants to open the wallet. Let me get you something, man. Courtesy of the Buffalo Fanatics. Go ahead, catch that code. Let's roll with it. All right. Closing.
By the way, I got to give a shout out to my man, Dan Echo. I just scrolled all the way back to the top of the chat. He said the first chat we read was Mitch, the lead robster. On our end, Dan, that is the first super chat we got of the entire evening. So if we missed it real quick before we wrap up,
yep.
I don't know why it didn't come through, but let us know what you said. We'll read that off because obviously, if we're taking word for it, of course. So we'll get on that. We have two more, by the way, here, and one of them's coming in from Isaac Bruning, and he's saying the Bills' comeback against the Oilers in the playoffs was a great game. Oh my God, yeah,
of course.
Greatest comeback in the history of the sport, man. I wish I was alive for it, but
imagine to be at that game, and also imagine to be like, you know what, this game's over. I'm going home. And all you're hearing is on the radio, the Bills win it. What?
Dude, I would be losing my shit. I always say this all the time. Everybody I talk to who was alive in the 90s says they were at that game. I mean, you would have thought that 10 million people were at that game. It's like the big fisherman's tale in Buffalo. Everybody thinks that they were at that game. But yeah, the amount of people, Rico, that bailed out of that stadium for that game has got to be in the thousands. No question about it. But man, even the highlights, I wasn't alive for it, but the highlights definitely, for me at least, it resonates just how unbelievable that game was. We got True Two Guns. Bills will be on kill mode next week. Rico, he's got the Bills winning by a 10 spot.
I kind of like it. We are going to be on kill mode. Like, once you make it this far, that's it. We've been here before. We know what it feels like to not have the confetti fall on our faces. So we want the confetti to fall, and we're sitting here going to do snow angels and confetti. That's what we want. You know what I mean? And we do it on their field. That's the best part. Do it right on their field. Ooh, boy, that's going to feel good.
By the way, the Chiefs were getting criticized because yesterday they let
I'm going to.
Yeah, I saw it. The Chiefs were getting criticized yesterday because of the confetti falling down. So they launched the confetti up before the game ended. Yeah, I mean, whatever. But that was something that came to mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do we got here? Marlowe. We got my man Marlowe again coming in representing the Ravens. He's saying one thing about losses like these is that I find amazing channels like this. This has been my therapy. I lend my Burnland energy to Bills Mafia. Tip of the cap to you.
Tip of the cap to you, sir. And it's true though, because you do end up finding great channels where it's not just I'm following. You know how many other brands have come on and just say, "Oh, we got Arrowhead Nation that's always in here, respectful. We got when Ravens fans wants to be cool, they can be cool. We've got a whole bunch of guys that are in this, man. Titans fans as well. I mean, we've made some really good content creators that we've met, that we've collaborated and so on and so forth. So it's great to see those things. And by the way, Danielle says, yo, Nova Scotia is 1 hour ahead. Yes, it is. We are 1 hour ahead. So when these games are starting at like 6:30, I'm here starting at 7:30. I was like, golly, this is a late one. So those 9 o'clock games that we always get, you guys, your game starts at 8, mine's at 9. Bro, it's over with. The game's not done by like midnight. It's crazy. Yo, so how do we put this away here? Oh, we have another one coming in.
We got my man Dan Echo coming again. Yeah, my bad, Dan. You didn't have to send another super chat, dude. Don't do that next time.
Oh, yeah, don't do that, man.
Yeah, YouTube definitely. I don't know what the hell happened there. I don't know, but we owe you one for sure. I don't know what happened there, but he's saying all good boys. That means YouTube ripped me off, not the Fanatics. Love y'all. Love's mutual, obviously, Dan. And we know we got to echo Dan's statement every time he comes in. That's what I love to do. I love echoing Dan's statement. I'll leave us with this. Dan wants to give us our leaving point here, Rico, as you were wondering where we leave it. Well, Dan wants to set us up. He says, I'll leave us with this. Must beat KC because we can't have this become the new 0 for 4. Wow, didn't think about it like that. We got this. Go Bills. Well said, Dan. Man, I didn't even think about it like that. Damn.
He's right, though. We can't let it go 0 for 4 because that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And then that's what my beef was at the beginning of the season. someone's going to have to answer for the 0 for 4. And at the end of the day, it's just what it is. Somebody has to wear the L. Somebody is going to have to talk about 0 for 4 against this one team. But this, I don't even call it a silver lining. What you can say is, well, the team that we lost to 0 for 4 has won the Super Bowl. So, like, what you want to do? Like, they won the whole thing. So, but I mean, it's no excuse really. You want to make it done. So, if you were to put a button in this whole night, how do you put a button? What's your button? What's the button you put on the whole night and say, this is how we're going to do it?
Man, tough task right there. But how about these underdog Buffalo Bills? How about these Bills that everybody doubted going into this game? How about these Bills going into the Ralph as a home underdog for the first time in franchise history? How about Josh Allen doing what he had to do to put this team on his back all year long? One of the best seasons he's had, losing the MVP. How about Sean McDermott? He can't get it done in the big one. He can't scheme it up against Lamar. How about this defense? They can't stop Derrick Henry. They can't hold him under 100. They can't mitigate Lamar's impact on the game. How about them Buffalo Bills, who are going back to the AFC Championship to try and avenge what we've been trying to avenge for the last half decade? These Buffalo Bills, folks, all 4,300 of you in here, will end by saying, these Buffalo Bills defied the doubt tonight. We hope they defy it again, because next week we got one more in us, and it's for the right to go to the bowl. And I couldn't.
And you can't say it better than that. Listen, folks, I told you, when Z-Bot's on the money, you don't chase that. You let it sit.
Come on, baby.
You marinate on that thing. But listen, I'll say this. What's that quote from the Raven? Was
the
it
poem or the story? Which one?
Something about a Raven forevermore, forevermore. I mean, what's it? I used to listen. There was a wrestler by the name of Sting in the WCW, and he used to say, quote the Raven. He say something like, quote the Raven, nevermore. Thank you guys very much. Hey, quote the Raven, nevermore, man. You guys are not going to affect the Bills going into it. Yo, the Ravens are nevermore. Out you go. In come the Bills. Let's make it work. And we good. Then we got another super chat coming through. My man True Gun says, yo, I called 24-27 Buffalo all week. Damn. Everyone in Florida said we would lose, but we fear nobody. 2-0 to be immortalized in history. Put respect on our name. Amen. We feel you, brother. We feel you. So that's it for us, bro. My man said, quote the Raven, nevermore. That's it, buddy. That's the one. That's the one. So that was the Sting. Sting used to say that. If you guys watch wrestling, if I remember correctly, he would say, quote the Raven, and he'd say some BS. I think it was nevermore, but neither here nor there, because Sting is an old man now. It is what it is. So
bro, I feel like I just went 6 rounds in the octagon, man. I'm about to pass out after this. Oh my God.
This is a 3.5 hour pod. We appreciate y'all. And listen, hit that music. We out of here, baby. Listen, appreciate y'all.
Man, hey, listen, we got a lot of love for every single one of you. We had damn near 5,000 of you in here the entire night. We started at 10. We ended 2. We love every single one of you. The Buffalo Bills get it done. We got a loaded week for you all week. It's Chiefs week. It's AFC Chip week. Don't you worry. We're coming at you live and rapid this week, so lock in. But for tonight, enjoy this W. Rico and I got a lot of love for each and every one of you. We can't wait to talk to you later in the week. But for now, get some sleep. Enjoy your Victory Monday. Talk soon, and go mother effing Bills.
Go Bills, baby.